Let's just start the show. Here's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of John and Jim on a Padres off day. What can go wrong? Padres winning yesterday. They beat the Diamondbacks.
Nothing, John.
Everything's
Nothing
going
could go
well.
wrong.
And I will say this, and we have plenty of time to get ready for tomorrow, and Will Fleming, who's a radio voice for the Red Sox, will join us. You have an unbelievable series coming up where the Red Sox are scorching hot and the Padres are scorching hot. And they're going to meet this weekend at Petco Park. So everything is in front of the Padres, who pulled within 2 games. We said it during the day. We knew the Dodgers had lost. They pulled to within 2 games of first place. The manner in which they did it, Jim, was very impressive. It looked like it was going to be an awful loss, lethargic offensively, until it wasn't. And just the second time this year, they win when trailing after 8 innings. They scored a couple of runs in the 9th inning, and everything's going right. All these post-trade deadline acquisitions, all these pieces paying off yesterday. And the Padres inching closer in the NL West, getting ready for a surging Red Sox team tomorrow night at Petco Park. It's an amazing time to be a Padres fan. It really is.
We talked about it all yesterday. After the Dodgers lost the game to the Cardinals, which they actually won, by the way. You'll hear why they won that game later in the show.
They just lost on the scoreboard.
Right, but they actually won the game.
But they won the game. That's such a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I can't believe I didn't think of that.
That's such a good point.
Yeah, the Dodgers
scored.
The Dodgers lost the game, but they actually
really
won it. They really won. So after that moment, and you'll hear what we're talking about later in the show if you haven't already heard already. But their opportunity last night was right in front of them to gain ground. And when you got less than 50 games remaining in your season, if you have opportunities like that, you got to take advantage of them. Even though you do play the Dodgers 6 more times, which is a very good thing because then you control your own destiny essentially. Right. But, you got to make sure you can take advantage of every opportunity given to you in these final 2 months. You're in the stretch run. And you're in the 9th inning. It looks like it's going to be a really bad loss for you. And then Ryan Brohern.
That's right. Ryan freaking
O'Hearn comes to the plate, hits the game-tying homer, his first home run off a lefty all season long. Could not have come at a better time. Then the Padres score another run in that inning thanks to a double by Xander Bogaerts and some clutch hitting by Jose Iglesias. Mason Miller comes in, strikes out the side, looks nasty. Didn't like the walk. But other than that, looks nasty. Padres pick up the win. Now they're 2 back of the Dodgers. It was an opportunity that they seized. And thank goodness, because I did not want to come in today talking about a bad loss last night to the D-backs.
The amazing thing right now, you're 100% right. And you feel so different about one game. We always say that. I think you lose the series to the Diamondbacks and you look up and say, well, since the deadline, they're 3-3. They took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals, but they dropped 2 out of 3 to Arizona, but they didn't. And they're doing what we're asking them to do. You have to be realistic. You can't say, well, now that they've added Ramon Laureano, they have to win 85% of the time. No, win series. Now that they're playing teams that sold off at the deadline, they have to sweep them. No, don't be ridiculous with it. You're playing in a venue you don't win in historically. The Padres have not been good in Arizona historically. They didn't look very good, truthfully, over this 3-game series, yet they still won 2 of the 3 games. So I think literally everything we said on the road trip, go 5-5. They go 5-5. We said when they got home, go 6-4 or whatever we said. Like literally everything we've asked them to do. The Mets series, we said win that series.
They swept them.
They did sweep them. But like all those boxes that they needed to check, they've checked them all here in the second half, not just since the deadline. And now you look at what's to come. This is the more challenging part. The Boston surging, San Francisco at least capable in your division, and you've struggled there historically. Dodgers 6 times. Padres are 2-5 against the Dodgers this year.
Mariners.
Although LA is 10-17 in its last 27 games, and then the Mariners who can win the Vetter Cup with 1 win.
Oh man,
in Seattle.
That might ruin their season.
This is the stretch where, listen, we look up in 3 weeks, Jim, and if they handle the stretch appropriately, the ticket is punched. If they play good baseball the next 3 weeks, they're heading to the postseason. The only question is what seed are they going to be? Simple as that.
Well, according to Fangraphs today, their percent chance to make the postseason sits at around 93%.
But I can't say it yet. Can you say it yet?
No, not yet.
But I will say it, and I might look like an idiot because it's still baseball. But I will say it after Seattle, if they get through this stretch over 500, these games coming up over 500, I think they punch their tickets to the postseason with a month to play in the year.
Yeah, I said that too. Is you get to September and you're in a playoff spot, you're in.
You did say that.
I actually feel way more confident now even before the stretch.
Me too.
I just feel like they are on their way to the postseason, barring something catastrophic happening. We are in the midst of another second half Schulte run. They're 9-2 over their last 11 games. They went 5-1 at home. They took 2 of 3 from Arizona. Wasn't the prettiest series, but they got the job done. Results are like all that matters. I don't care how pretty the game is. Just win the game. And last night's game and the previous night's game, like they weren't the prettiest, but they got the job done. Now they got an off day today, and you start the stretch like you said. Oh, and by the way, and we'll get to this later in the show as well. Oh, by the way, full squad returns on Saturday with Michael King.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, you have the weapons you envisioned having. Like you always wanted it all put together. We've said this before in basketball. Like, are the Warriors going to put it together? They haven't had Steph and Draymond and Clay on the court at the same time. I'm going back, obviously. Or, hey, this NFL team, well, they haven't had the quarterback and the receivers on the field at the same time because of injury. I think we can say it about the Padres because post-deadline, AJ did the maneuvering to eliminate weak links. And then when you get King with Darvish, Cease, and Pivetta, like that's the caveat. We haven't seen all 4 of those pitchers out there. Oh, by the way, Nestor Cortez for an encore.
Oh, by the way,
pitched effectively. He hadn't pitched in the major league since April. He was coming off an elbow, so I think that's encouraging. But like you're in August, you still have time to ramp up. You're healthy. Now stay healthy and take advantage of your health because I really do believe everything's in front of this team. We talked about this last night in the wrap-up show. It's not to go down this path again and guarantee that the Padres are winning the division, but I do think it's fair to say, if not now, then when, this is a really good opportunity. We can't guarantee they take advantage of it, but this is a amazing opportunity that's been presented, and they can take advantage of it over the next 6 or 7 weeks.
And last night's win, we said this on the wrap-up show, that was an AJ Preller victory.
Well, all the newcomers playing roles, right?
Every single newcomer playing a role. Nestor Cortez, that could have gone sideways very quickly. He got out of that bases loaded, no outs jam by only allowing 1 run earlier in the game. Gives up a single, then hits 2 guys, and you're like, oh no, here we go. Gets out of the jam, goes 4 2/3, only gives up 2 runs. Would you have liked more from him as far as innings go? Like, yeah, but I think that right there, you take it.
And a debut coming off an elbow.
Then you got Ramon Laureano making that clutch defensive play in the bottom of the 7th inning. That amazing relay from him to Iglesias to Manny to get McCann out at third to end the inning, double play. Ryan O'Hearn, the game-tying home run in the top of the 9th inning. Mason Miller coming in, striking out the side. Freddie Firmino, by the way, went 3 for 4 last night. It's a much, much deeper team now. And last night was that was an AJ Preller victory.
I said last night too, and I'll double down on it today because I feel more firmly about it. I think if the Padres don't win the division, I'm not telling you how to feel, but I'm telling you how I will feel. I think it'll be disappointing. I think if the Padres do not win the division, and it's amazing to say that they were 9 games back, but now that the Dodgers are 10-17 in their last 27 games, and they're not 17-10, they didn't run away from you. Because if they were 17-10 the last 27 games, you're 9 out. Division's over.
Right.
But now that you are 2 games back, and you're 2 games back, and you went 2-5 against them earlier, and you have all this baseball in front of you, I just don't know how else to look at it. Like, am I really going to be content with, you know what? Great year. They made all these additions, and they're the 4 seed, and they finished behind the Dodgers. But it's right there for the taking. Why can't it be done? I mean, I guess if LA goes on some historical run, there's no reason to believe they do. There's no reason to think they're going 35-12 to finish the year. So, like, they are right there. You're getting them at a decent time. They're not playing brilliantly. Maybe it changes in a week. I just feel like you got to capitalize. What you traded away your top prospect. You have a 33-year-old that's the heart and soul of your team in Manny Machado. Capitalize now. Don't capitalize later. And they don't have to win the division to win the World Series. That remains true. But I'm just telling you, heading into the postseason with the position that they're in, I think it would be disappointing if they didn't take advantage of it.
Well, with all the trades that they made for the players that they traded away, the expectations are through the roof. The expectations aren't just get in as a 6 seed. Right.
Unless they win the World Series.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The expectations are make some noise here in the regular season to improve your standings in the postseason picture. Go for a division title now because it's within arm's reach. You control your own destiny when you think about it. Because if you play well against the Dodgers in the 6 games remaining against them in August, and then you just play consistently good baseball the rest of the way, like you're going to win the division. Unless the Dodgers go like crazy in September.
Well, look at it this way. If you go 4-2 against the Dodgers, you've made up the 2 games.
Okay.
But then the other 40 games for both teams will determine who wins or loses the division, right?
I'm kind of looking at it like they're going to be closer than maybe 2 games heading into the series next week.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's possible.
And if they go into that series like tied for the division, I don't know if the games line up or not.
Right.
Like those 6 games, man, those are going to mean so much.
Oh, they'll mean a lot
for your chances to win the division.
But there's also, and you're right, I don't disagree, but there's also a decent scenario where you come out of those 6 games.
100%.
One team went 3-3, or one team went 4-2. I don't think 4-2 you've cemented, but you'd feel good if the Padres come out of the 6 games against LA and they pass them in the standings and they go 4-2 or better against LA. You, of course, at that point you would say you'd be disappointed if they don't win the division, but there's just so much baseball in front of these teams. I'm just telling you right now how I feel watching the Padres and even watching the Dodgers just from a standings perspective. I would be disappointed if they didn't win the division. I've never been a division guy, but I feel like now that the division's within reach, go take advantage of it and go set your team up for the most success it can possibly have. And if you don't win it, so be it. You can still win in the postseason. I just say take advantage of what's in front of you because it feels like it's right there for the taking.
And this was the case in 2020 in September. This was the case last year in September. The problem is they just ran out of time in both instances. Those are the 2 other times that the Padres were the closest that they have been in well over a decade to, winning the National League West. So the thing with this is you have more time on your hands here, and you are closer than you have been to the Dodgers. Then, I think it was like June 13th, I think it was. That was the closest they were this year. This year.
Okay, so you're saying, you're close and you have enough time to put yourself over the top.
And last year, it came down to like the final week where you would have needed a lot of things to go right for you, like sweep the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. And then when I think 2 or 3 at home to end your season.
It was too late by that point, by and large.
Yeah, and they missed out on the division by a handful of games.
Yep.
And same thing happened in 2020, albeit it was a short season, whatever, fake year, okay. But still, last year, like they ran out of time in the regular season to make a push and win the division. And I do think if the season was longer, like they could have done it. Now, you got 2 months here, essentially. Well, I guess a little less than 2 months. And you play them 6 times. So you essentially control your own fate in a sense. You still need things to go right for you. You still need the Dodgers to not go and win like 10 of 11 because that wouldn't be good for your chances, especially if you're still trailing them. But you now are looking at the rest of your season and you have probably the best opportunity that you've had in a long time with who's in front of you, how you're playing to win a National League West Division title.
Yeah, Dodgers to equal their record from last year would have to close 32-15. That would be 700 baseball from here on out. All right, we told you about Michael King. What does that mean for the Padres moving forward? We know when he will start. We'll discuss on the other side. Plus, really good show lined up for you. Friend of the show, Darnay Tripp, somehow back with us. He agreed to do that. He will join us coming up at 4:30. We'll continue our San Diego State basketball summer series. Taj DeGorville, sophomore guard, back for a second year. He'll join us at 3:30. And we talked to San Diego State's offensive coordinator yesterday. And today we'll talk to their defensive coordinator. Rob Orich will join us coming up at 2:45. So great show for you. Don't go anywhere. It's John and Jim. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, Darnay Trip at 4:30, Taj to Goreville, Aztec sophomore guard at 3:30. Aztec football defensive coordinator Rob Orich will join the show at 2:45. Padres off day. They get the Red Sox tomorrow. Jim, do you remember the last time Michael King pitched?
Yes, I do.
All right, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
So he had a baseball in his right hand, and he was on this thing called a mound, and he was in a baseball game, and he was throwing the ball off the mound to a catcher that is behind home plate, and then there's a batter
Some of
trying
it
to
is
hit the
correct.
baseball.
Some of it is correct, but he also had the ball in his left hand when it was in his glove. Okay, do you remember that?
Well, I meant like he took the ball with his right hand and threw it.
Okay, the last time he pitched for the San Diego Padres was May 18th against Seattle at home. This is in the midst of a Mariners sweep of the. I mean, that's how long ago this is. Do you remember that Seattle series?
Yeah, it was awful.
I mean, this is so long ago that you fast forward now until this weekend, just 2 days from now, and you're pushing 3 months. This was May 18th.
I was in Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean, this is forever ago from a baseball perspective. And now you look at what he's meant to the team, though. I mean, it goes without saying. He had put together a better year in 2025 through 10 starts than he did in 2024 when he emerged as essentially an ace and was dominant, for example, in the postseason against Atlanta. He has a 2.59 ERA. So what does it mean? Well, it's kind of twofold. Does Michael King look like Michael King? If the answer is yes, it's an incredible, right, post-trade deadline acquisition, as Mike Schilt would say.
But can we truly expect that?
Well, we don't need it on Saturday. But what we need him is to be healthy.
We need him to be healthy.
What we need him to be,
yes,
okay? What we need him to be is healthy. If he is healthy, then, I mean, it's just such a huge addition. 2.59 ERA. And again, it's like Nestor Cortez. You don't need Nestor Cortez yesterday to throw 7 innings. You need him to be capable down the road of being a competent fifth starter. You don't need Michael King tomorrow going 7 innings, allowing 1 run. You do in a month or two. So just to get him back is just, it has a lot of potential for what this team is capable of accomplishing this year.
It sounds like if you line it up all right, he'll make about 10 starts the rest of the season.
That's a good point.
10, 11.
There's only 40-something games left.
I think it's about 10.
Maybe 10.
5
that
this
might
month,
be high.
5 next month.
Yeah, okay. Max 10.
Depending on what they do with all the off days.
Max 10.
Max 10.
Yep.
What did he do in his first 10 starts? I know you just
2.59 ERA. He had a 1.4 WAR. He had a 1.024 WHIP.
Yeah, and it didn't start out great for him either. His first game of the year against Atlanta, the home opener, wasn't good. And then after that, he looked like Michael.
Pretty good.
Looked like Michael King.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get him back to how he was pitching before he slept wrong, yeah, you're right. It's just such a huge addition to this rotation because. Let's be real here. Are they winning a World Series without Michael King? They maybe could, but it's going to be harder to do. They need Michael King. Michael King feels like not the key to the rotation and their chances to win a World Series, but he's a huge piece of that puzzle because you want to have King and Pivetta and Cease and Darvish all healthy going into a postseason because we've seen how this team has fared when their fourth starter gets injured and they don't have them in the postseason. That doesn't end well. So going into the postseason with 4 legitimate starters for this team is definitely the goal.
Yeah, and he's one of those, among the 4, assuming his health, he's right at the top of the heap. Like he's not your number 4 option in this hypothetical as you look forward. I mean, he's going to be a guy that's going to be counted on. If you were in a wild card series, for example, he has to start one of those first 2 games, for example, for me. If you're in a longer series, he's going to start one of the first couple of games. But to get him back, we really didn't know. I mean, we heard from him in the clubhouse a couple of weeks ago or even a couple of months ago, and he kind of scoffed at the idea that he would not pitch again. But then all of a sudden, a day becomes a week and a week becomes a month, and you wonder, when is this pitcher coming back? And the one thing about King's rehab as opposed to Yu Darvish's is it's been completely accelerated.
Well, because it's not an arm injury. It's just like a pinched nerve in his shoulder. So they say.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, I guess that's probably the reason as to why 1 rehab start. That was it. Now, Yu Darvish only made 1 rehab start, but he made 10 sim outings. But one rehab start, we'll see Michael King. Again, for me, I don't have to see him at his best on Saturday, but I'll be curious to see what he looks like. I need to see him pitching at his best as we go along here in the weeks ahead. But I'm excited to see him on Saturday night. I really am.
And you could say that this is a little bit of a measuring stick series.
Measuring stick.
I don't
whip
want
it out.
Whip it out on the table.
Measuring stick. Okay, yeah.
Would you agree or no?
You want to play the measuring stick game? I'm happy to. I mean, do I think it's a measuring stick series?
Look, the Red Sox are hot. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're 64-52 on the year.
They're like the exact same team as the Padres.
If it wasn't for the Toronto Blue Jays, they would easily be winning the division.
Here's the thing: do we do measuring stick series against teams in the other league?
No,
I'm fine to do it
because the next time you would face them would be in the World
Series. Exactly.
But still, it's a good team.
My measuring stick is going to be at Dodger Stadium.
I agree. To see if I agree. But still, doesn't take away the fact that you're playing a really good Red Sox team this weekend.
It's red hot.
And it ain't going to be easy. Even though
mm-hmm.
the Padres do have one of the best home records in all of baseball.
It's the second best, right?
At 36-19. They have the second best home record in all of baseball behind the Toronto Blue Jays at 38-19.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why it's important to play games at home in the postseason if you can.
Yes, it is. Red Sox on the road this year are 25-30.
Very similar to the Padres.
Yep. Padres are 28-32 on the road this year.
Yeah, this is the series where you say, and I'm with you, if it's not a measuring stick, it's looking at two good teams against each other, but you're the home team. So from a Padres perspective, can you take 2 out of 3? We can get your reaction on the other side, 877-767-4760 if you want to weigh in, or you can text us, 70470, start your message with the word team. We'll switch gears later in the hour. We'll talk to Rob Orich, San Diego State's defensive coordinator. Darnay Tripp from NBC7 will join us at 4:30. This is John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Allstate. Padres with a comeback victory last night versus the D-backs as they won 3-2. They took the series, and they now are just 2 games back of the Dodgers in the National League West. They have an off day today before they start a 3-game series tomorrow night versus the Boston Red Sox here at Petco Park. And oh, by the way, Michael King, he will make his return as the Padres announced he will be starting on Saturday night versus the Red Sox. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
All right, San Diego State, first-year defensive coordinator. He was on staff last year, but Rob Orich will join us coming up at 2:45. The Aztecs opener is 3 weeks from tonight against Stony Brook. We have Darnay Tripp joining us at 4:30. Taj DeGorville, Aztec guard, at 3:30. All right, let's go to the phones. If you want to weigh in on the Padres, the surging Padres, they've won 9 of 11. They pulled to within 2 games of LA. 877-767-4760. Let's go to Eric on line 1. And Eric, you're back on with John and Jim.
Hey, thanks again.
Yeah,
listening in and, super excited to have Michael King come back, right? I mean, he would have been an addition to the starting rotation, as we all know, even with or without the trades. He's got one of the better performances, the best if you ask me, all the way back in April. I think it was a complete game, one of 2 we have all year. And as far as the series goes with Boston, I mean, I measure it up to be a little different than if we're playing like a St. Louis, right, or any other team in the National League, New York, Philly, you name it, because only due to it's not a one-for-one game where you win it, you gain a game, you lose a game based on the result. But it is measuring us as far as a playoff caliber team. And we all know Boston has always been that, and they're going to bring the same this weekend, and totally looking forward to this series.
Appreciate you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this series too. This is a stretch that we've been talking about for a while now, and it's nice that the Padres are playing some of their best baseball this season heading into it.
Do you know?
No, I don't.
Well, I'm going to ask you anyway. I'm asking myself it. Since the Red Sox were 41-44, they are 23-8. So this is truly among, if not the hottest teams in baseball.
It's all Devers' fault.
Since he's left, they've been as good as anyone. Well, I mean, it is as simple as that. Since he has left, they have been as good as anyone in the sport. I would guess they're probably top 2 in records since he's left.
And on the flip side, I think the Giants have been
the worst
or one of the worst teams in baseball,
which isn't a good thing to say about a player like Rafi Devers. We'll see
not
about
good
it.
If you're Rafi Devers.
It's really not a good thing to say, but I'll tell you what, man, Boston, this really is. I mean, I am looking forward to this weekend. The more I look into it, I mean, it's kind of crazy how Boston turned its entire season around. I mean, they were 60 games in, 28-32. Later in their year, they were 41-44, 85 games in. And now they're playing like a team a lot like San Diego that looks like they could maybe make a run in the American League and get to a World Series.
Do you think Preller would be sitting behind the dugout wearing his
wearing what?
You think Preller would be sitting behind the dugout wearing his Jaron Duran jersey?
No, I bet he'd be wearing a split Bogarts. Half Padres, half Red Sox, Bogarts on the back jersey.
Well,
I could see, or split Pavetta.
Potentially.
A split Pavetta jersey.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Or a Pavetta Bogarts.
Pavetta playing his jersey. Former team.
Yeah.
Or pitching against his former team tomorrow
night.
Bogarts playing against his former team this weekend. But we all know how much AJ Preller loved Jaron Duran. And hearing those numbers, it makes less sense for them to have traded Jaron Duran at the trade deadline. They're playing great baseball, and he's playing great baseball as well.
He's
got his numbers, right?
Yeah, he's been incredible, especially over the last month of the year, which does make it kind of comical that they were going after a player that is one of the reasons why that team is surging in the American League. The fact that he's even able to call on these players is ridiculous.
Well, you can call anybody on anybody.
No, but the reason I say it is, like, the A's are like, AJ, no. We don't even want to talk about Mason Miller, and you keep twisting and twisting and twisting. It's different. The A's are under 500. The Red Sox might be a World Series caliber team, but I mean, I get the infatuation with Duran right now because I'm just looking at some of his numbers over the last month plus. This guy has been absolutely terrific for the Red Sox. But I mean, you look at the Padres upgrades they made, also in the outfield, and the Padres just worked out pretty well in the outfield too.
Well, the good thing is, and we talked about Jarren Duran for a long time.
Oh my gosh, so long.
They would have had to give up so much to get
Like Leo
Jarren Duran.
DeVries or something.
Well, not only Leo DeVries, you probably have to throw in Ethan Salas or even Boston Bateman. Like you'd have to give up way too much, complete overpay to get Jarren Duran. And what we kept saying, they don't need Jarren Duran. They need a right-handed bat.
Mm-hmm.
They need some guy that, you know, is a role player that you can go out and get for not a lot.
You're right.
Now, I think Boston Bateman being involved in the Orioles deal would be considered a lot.
And DeVries being involved in the A's deal is considered a lot. That's true.
Exactly.
It's still considered that way.
But I think they went out and they got a player that better fits their team in Ramon Laureano than Jarren Duran, in my opinion. Now, again, it's worked out so far with Ramon Laureano, so it's easy to say that. He's been a great addition to this team. But they didn't have to give up as much for Laureano and O'Hearn compared to what they would have had to give up for Jarren Duran. And if they would have gotten Jarren Duran, they probably aren't able to make the other trades that they made at the deadline.
Completely. You're 100% right. They wouldn't have been able to do it. So it's a very good point. And where Preller really did well, in my opinion, and the story isn't fully written, is that he addressed needs without forcing squares and circles. You know, like you could have gone shiny object Luis Robert Jr.
We've seen that before.
But you're betting on the come and potential. Like Laureano was doing it. And you could say, well, what about Jarren Duran then, John? Well, they needed a right-handed batter in there as well.
It would have cost you like everything in your system for one player.
Yeah, exactly. So I think when you look at the totality of what he did, I mean, again, now we have a little bit of hindsight, just a week or so, and it's worked out well in a short period of time. Of course, the key is how does it work long term? But again, I stick by what I said the day of the deadline. Now is Preller's time to use that paid time off. I mean, you could go tour the country, enjoy, go see friends,
tour the country.
Go see friends in Myrtle Beach, spend the weekend in Myrtle, go to a race. I don't know what type
I think
race.
I think he'd want to watch his team play.
But he's done his work, man. He can go grab a Mai Tai. I mean, you've done your work. Now it's on your team. It's on your coaching staff. Go get where you got to get. He can only take him so far. You can lead it to water. Now you got to go drink water. You like that? Go drink water.
Go drink water, AJ. Go take a nap.
No, the team needs to drink the water.
Oh,
he's brought the team to the water that needs to now have
Oh.
a sip of it.
That makes no sense.
My analogy was I was calling the team a horse, which I didn't want to do. But my point is AJ did his job. I don't care what happens from here on out. I stick by AJ did his job.
And he did his job last year.
He did.
And he did his job in 2022.
And guess what? That's why he's here. You know what I mean? At some point, that'll change, but that's why he's here, because he's been able to do his job. We're going to switch gears. Rob Horich, San Diego State's first-year defensive coordinator. Aztecs open 3 weeks from tonight. Fall camp well underway. He joins us coming up next. We continue our basketball series with Taj DeGorville, sophomore guard at 3:30. Then Darnay Tripp on these post-trade deadline moves and what it's meant for the Padres. He'll join us coming up at 4:30. But again, we're talking Aztec football with the new defensive coordinator for the Aztecs, Rob Horich, coming up next on John and Jim. All right, Rob Orich, San Diego State's defensive coordinator, will join us in a moment. Darnay Tripp, NBC7, will join us at 4:30. We're talking Aztecs hoops at 3:30 as well with Taj DeGorville. I'll do this coming up. Aztecs gym open in 3 weeks. We're actually going to be at their Fan Fest a week from today.
Correct.
That'll be at Snapdragon Stadium. Looking forward to that. They will scrimmage on field next Thursday night in front of fans. That's a free event. Ticket to goaztecs.com. So looking forward to getting out there. We were in Vegas, talked to Sean Lewis. We talked to players as well. And it's kind of getting real. I mean, 3 weeks from tonight, they play. 1 week from tonight, they scrimmage. Behind the scenes, they've been practicing for each of the last 2 weeks. Are you ready for football? Are you ready for some football, a Monday night party?
Yes, I am. I am ready for some football. Definitely. I forget what the lyric is.
I forget what it was too.
Are you ready for some football?
Yeah.
It's a Monday night party.
They finally moved away from that, right?
They did.
They finally just, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's still
like 20 years ago.
Yeah. It's still,
no. ESPN used it.
They use like the music. They use the lyrics.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Right.
Carrie Underwood still does the Sunday night.
Well, that's Sunday night.
Sunday night is
different than Monday.
Different than Monday. It's
yeah.
Like waiting all day for a Sunday night.
Yeah, look at you. That's right. That's 100% right.
But that's NFL, not college football, John.
2011.
Correct. Yeah, that's not 20.
No,
it's only 15 years ago.
No, I am ready for some football. I'm ready for some college football. I'm ready for some NFL football. I'm ready for some postseason baseball. I'm ready for all of it.
You're ready for everything.
I'm ready for everything.
I think from an Aztec football perspective specifically, listen, everyone understands they have to improve off 3-9, right? And there was that, the way the year finished as well. They were 3-3 at one point. They led Washington State at home, and then they blew that lead. I forget what the lead was, 11 or 12 points. They lose that game, and then they lost out. So they finished 3-9. Now, behind the scenes that a lot of people aren't aware of, because if you're not covering it each and every day, maybe you wouldn't be, coming off a 3-9 year, they retained a lot of the pieces they wanted to keep. And they've got a lot back on defense. We talked to Sean about this a couple of weeks ago. They've added what they believe to be some very talented athletic quarterbacks, and Jaden Danigal, who was the understudy to J.J. McCarthy on that national championship team at Michigan 2 years ago. Bert Emanuel Jr. is an outstanding athlete. His father spent 10 years in the NFL. Jim didn't know who he was.
I'm sorry. I didn't know who Bert Emanuel was.
I'm kidding. So
you thought I was like the biggest idiot on the planet that day.
No. I already thought that.
I know.
So the point is, I think that I understand if there is skepticism coming off 3-9. I completely understand it, but I do think there's reasons for optimism. Is my overall point. That's what I'm saying heading into the season, this 2025 season.
Well, it's better to have a lot of key players returning than not, and it's better to have those key players returning be guys that actually really did contribute to last year's team.
So let's talk to Rob Orich, who is the first-year defensive coordinator at San Diego State. He's been a long-time defensive coordinator, and he's been on staff here on the Mesa for the last year plus as well. And he's with us right now, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We're talking Aztecs football. We're just talking about the continuity on your defense. But let's just start here. First of all, Coach, we appreciate your time. What have the first 2 weeks been like of fall camp? And thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys. I appreciate you guys having me. I appreciate everything you guys do to help support Aztec football. And first two weeks, we're kind of hitting the ground running. Spring was an exceptional 15 practice for our group. Made a lot of hay there. And then I actually thought our leadership in the summer through all the player-led practices kind of primed the pump a little bit for us to start on level 3 or level 4 instead of back at the beginning. And what I've been excited about is that there's a hunger with this group. Like there's no question about their desire to be a great team. We got to get them to execute and play winning style of football, and we've seen that from the first couple practices so far.
And we know with the way that college football is, NIL, transfer portal, all of that, to retain as many players as you guys did, especially on defense, is such a huge thing for any college football team in the country. But for you guys, starting out new last year, first year here on the Mesa, getting those players that contributed last year, I'm sure that played a huge role into what you said, as you guys hit the ground running this offseason into training camp.
Yeah, good players make the world go round.
Yeah.
Every coach will tell you that. And, we you look at our two deep coming back, you can make an argument that, we return 14, 15 of our top 16 players from last year. And it's a fortunate position to step into play calling wise, because their mental load can handle a little diversity, can handle some layers to it. And so for us, when Trey White, Chris Johnson, Tano, Eric Butler, Bryce Phillips, all these returning playmakers for us last year decided to stay home and stay in that Aztec red, we knew we have a real good shot to be a special defense this year. And those guys are hungry, man. They got something to prove. I think we all look back at the last year, and that wasn't up to anybody's expectation from anyone's performance. And they feel real inspired to return football to the Mesa where it should be.
Rob Orge is with us right now. He's San Diego State's defensive coordinator. Aztecs have Fan Fest a week from tonight. Free tickets at goaztecs.com. The Aztecs opener is 3 weeks from tonight against Stony Brook. There's so much attention on Trey White. What does success look like for White this year? Because with that attention, you don't necessarily get all the numbers. I mean, we saw that in the second half of the year because, he's facing double teams constantly. So what does a successful year look like for Trey White, for you and your defense?
Yeah, we've talked to Trey a little bit about this, and we got a bunch of coaches on our staff who have been pretty good players at the college level. And so I think we've been in those roles before, being preseason player of the years and stuff like that, where, it's not a burden at all. You should take it as a compliment. But Trey's focus is, hey, I'm going to go execute my job on this snap. And if doing my job results in production or a TFL or a sack, then great. That's the way it should go. But if my job involves getting a double team to me and setting up the pass rush game on the other side, great. That's my job. But one thing that we have to do as coaches is we have to find ways to move them around the field. And so if he sits there at the boundary end position like he did last year, we're going to get a lot of slide to the boundary, and Trey's not going to have double-digit sacks. But it's our job to find ways to use our tools the best we can. And so if I were you guys, I'd be expecting to see Trey White all over the field, man.
You mentioned the opposite side of Trey on the edge. Right now, for you, who is that leader in the clubhouse to be on the opposite side of Trey White on the line to start the season?
Yeah, I think it's our deepest room. I think you can make an argument that the edge room is right there with our safety rooms for just the number of good players. And so in that edge room, the guy coming back who played really quality ball for us last year is Brady Nasser. Steady, stops the run, extremely smart, a very good pass rusher, but not, he's not the same type of athlete that Trey is. He just has a different style of game. And the two guys that have kind of shown out pass rush wise is a transfer kid from FIU named August Salvati, who's got 2 years left, who has a ton of horsepower, can really run off the ball, one of those Joey Bosa type defensive ends. That's who he reminds me of. That's a hell of a compliment to play that kid. And the other player who has some elite pass rush ability is Ryan Henderson. And you saw it in flashes last year. You got a taste of it, but it wasn't as consistent as what Trey was giving us. And so if I expected what you're seeing from the Aztec, we're going to be in a bunch of packages where we have 4 DNs on the field on third down, and it'll be a combination of Trey and August, Ryan and Miles King, and then Jared Beatty, who's a linebacker right now that has a pretty dynamic tool set as a rusher. So for us, we feel like this is the deepest we've been here in the terms of pass rushers. So I think we have someone to put on the other side and allow Trey to go win some one-on-ones.
Rob Orch with us right now, San Diego State's defensive coordinator. Correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, but you were a former All-American linebacker, right? Minnesota's.
I was.
You're coaching linebackers, right? As well. Yep. So tell us about that room. In a 4-2-5, again, it's somewhat unique where you're not going to have, a handful of linebackers on the field at the same time, but you got some really special players. I think it probably starts with Tano Latuli. So what's the experience like for you coaching this group and seeing a player like Tano back here on the Mesa for another year?
Yeah, the linebacker group is really deep. There's 6 guys right now we would feel comfortable putting in the game. But the 2 guys that spearhead it are Tano Latuli and Owen Chambliss. And Owen has some NFL tools. A little bit beat up last year, Owen is a guy that I think you're going to hear a lot from this year. I think when it comes to processing football, he does it at an elite level. Reminds me of a kid named Jack Cochran who played for me. That's with the Chiefs now. I'm really proud of where he's at and where he's physically got his body to. He looks like an NFL guy. I think he's going to have a big year. Tano's the emotional heartbeat of this team. I think Chris and Trey are our leaders, and Tano's in that same fold. But the emotional steadiness comes from Tano, his passion for the game. And Tano is as violent as they come, has tremendous acceleration. We all looked at his tape last year and talking to him. He knows he can play cleaner, with regards to, run fits and the precision in our drops. He has a lot of room to get better. And that's one thing I really appreciate about working with Tano is he's not satisfied being like a preseason high-level player. It doesn't mean anything. His goals are to be a great player, and it's our job and my job to push him to that. And I've been really pleased with how he's responded.
What have you seen going up against Jaden Denigel and Bert Emanuel Jr. on the other side? Every day you're trying to stop, this offense in practice. What have you seen from those two new quarterbacks here, specifically in training camp?
I love them. Dude, they're tough to defend. They're a little bit different in the way they get after you. What I like about JD or Jaden, he's a high level football thinker. He comes up and talks after practice about the little cat and mouse game with some of our blitz simulations we've been giving him. And I've had a lot of respect for how he's eager to grow his knowledge of football. He made about 4 or 5 throws the other day that I thought were, wow, you can't defend that. And today we were in the scrimmage and we had reps at the scrimmage today, and they blew the play dead because we touched them in the pocket. We're keeping the quarterback safe, but I don't know if we're getting him down. And that's the aspect of the game that I'm excited about to see from him. I think he can just create stuff with his athleticism and his understanding of timing in the pocket. He's ready to get out. And with regards to Bert, man, Bert's one of the most athletic kids on this team. He's terrifying. 10'6" kid coming out of high school. He's bigger than Owen Chambliss, who I think looks like an NFL linebacker. Bert looks like an NFL DN. And so that kid at that size, getting downhill, I think Coach Schmidt, Coach Lewin, Coach Johnson, our OC, have done a great job of finding things he does extremely well. And so I've been really impressed with the increased level of athleticism in that room.
Rob, we appreciate you taking time for us. I know Aztec fans are excited for the season, and next Thursday night, Fan Fest, again, free tickets at goaztecs.com, a scrimmage out at Snapdragon Stadium. So we appreciate you taking time for us. Continue to be well, and we'll catch up with you next week out at Snapdragon.
Awesome. All the best, guys. Talk to you.
All right, great stuff from Rob Orts, the new DC at San Diego State. We get back to the Padres on the other side, enjoying an off day, but preparing for the Boston Red Sox. We'll start a trip. Will join us from NBC 7 at 4:30. Hour 2, John and Jim comes your way next.
This update is brought to you by Staples. Padres last night, good win over the D-backs. Take 2 of 3, winning the series. They have an off day today before they start a 3-game series tomorrow night at home against the Boston Red Sox. And the Padres announced last night after the game that Michael King will make his return to the rotation on Saturday night. How many times have we all said that was easy? Well, the Staples Easy button is back. It's got everyone saying it again for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos, plus quality products delivered next day to over 98% of the U.S. Staples. That was easy.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of John and Jim. Taj DeGorville, who burst onto the scene last year, true freshman for Brian Dutcher on the Mesa. We're continuing our Aztec basketball summer series. He will join us at 3:30, and then we will bother Darnay Tripp at 4:30. Darnay Tripp, NBC 7, about the Padres' moves at the deadline and how it's worked out so swimmingly in the first week or so. Darnay Tripp will join us coming up at 4:30 here today. He immediately agreed to come on.
I'm shocked.
Because every time I want to have Darnay on, but I'm the one that always asks him. All I write, Brent, is Darnay with 7 Ys. I just say in the group chat, I'm like, Darnay. And then I don't say anything else. And that's me saying, please come on the show. And he's like, I'll come back. I'll come on after 4:15.
Very quickly.
And we didn't have to do the whole song and dance.
I'm surprised too, because we've all muted that chat.
Correct. That's why I figured, but I did it at 10 a.m. So we had 6 hours to reply.
I've muted it. You've muted it. Darnay's muted it.
Completely muted.
We've named the group chat.
We hate each other.
We hate the group chat.
It's such an annoying group chat. If
really
you saw some of these texts back and forth, it is super annoying.
I'm surprised Darnay is still our friend.
It's a credit that Darnay is in. I actually tried to leave the chat. You can't leave a group chat on an iPhone with 3 or fewer people.
What?
It has to be 4 or more to leave. So I literally went to remove myself from the chat before I changed the name of it, as I hate this group chat or whatever. But I couldn't even remove myself. It's not even possible.
I'm gonna add Annie to the group chat, and then I'm gonna remove myself.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. She's like, "Wait, what's going on here? Why am I in this group chat?
No,
Please
I would
help
never
me.
subject Annie.
Save me now.
I would never subject her to that. No. So, okay, so you look up on this Padres off day. I was just thinking about this, and I thought about this last night as I'm putting my head on the pillow at 1 a.m. after doing 100 shows talking about the Padres all day.
At least the game didn't end at 10:45 at night, like Tuesday's game did.
True. Good point. So we do the show last night, and like we've said over the first hour of the show, they're 9-2 in their last 11 games. You look up, they're 64-51. I remember thinking at the end of last year, I'm like, do we understand how much work there is for the Padres to get back in the position they were in 2024 with the almost perfect second half?
Yeah.
And then all offseason we're like, they have no money, and oops, Roki Sasaki and Jurickson Profar, who then with the Atlanta media was like, yeah, that ownership situation is weird. All this stuff that was playing out. And we're like, Manny Machado at Padres Fan Fest or other players were like, man, it sucked to lose Profar. And some of these changes aren't ideal, but I get it. I'm paraphrasing. So you're thinking are they really going to be as good of a team in 2025 as they were in 2024? There were plenty of reasons for skepticism. And Jim, we still don't know. I don't know if they're winning 93 games. I don't know if they're making the NLDS or winning it, but can't we now agree that with all the hurdles they've had to jump over, they may very well not just be the equal to 2024. We don't know this, but they actually have more in front of them, of course, than what happened last year because the season ended the way it did. They've gotten to this point where they might just put themselves in a position to equal or surpass 2024. I think that's a fair conversation to have.
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy to think about because I'm with you. And I felt the same way after the season last year. Are they going to ever get in the near future with the core they have now? Are they going to get back to a point where they're favored to win the World Series and they have such a complete roster, you feel like, and they're playing such good baseball and they had the second half that they did?
Right.
That's a legitimate thing to think about because nothing's guaranteed the following year because of injuries and guys have down years and other teams might be really good too. So many things could happen in just a course of one off season and one full season.
Mm-hmm.
And there is still a lot of time remaining.
There is.
But the feeling that I think we all experienced and a lot of all Padres fans experienced last year in the second half leading into the postseason, start to feel it again a little bit right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, oh man, this second half Schulte thing is actually like legit. Maybe last year wasn't lightning in a bottle. Now it is hard, very hard to replicate what they did in the second half, and I still don't think they can do that. But if they get close to what they were played like last year in the second half, that's just as good, in my opinion. Maybe better because it could equal a division title, depending on how the Dodgers play.
It's interesting you say that because I'm with you. I don't think there's going to be a 43-19 stretch in this team. I hope to be proven wrong. But they actually don't even need it to get to 93 wins. Not that that's some barrier. It's not like anyone's going to celebrate 93 wins. Like, we did it. We got to 93 wins. What a year. But they can get to 93 wins, which is where they were a year ago. And they can get there by going 29-18.
Mm-hmm.
So, and listen, is that good baseball? Of course it is.
Very good baseball.
But, I mean, Jim has said it for a month straight. That September schedule, you get to September, and maybe you can really get going. And shoot, they're going right now in August. But think about that. 29-18 gets you to 93 wins. And here's the difference between last year and this year. The Dodgers are not guaranteed to get to where they got to last year with 98 wins. Not that they won't. They can, but their path to get to mid-90s wins is very similar to the Padres at this point because they're only 2 games better than San Diego. So, I mean, I don't know if I would say today I feel like they have a better chance than I felt literally 1 year ago today, but I feel like they have a comparable chance. And I also feel the point that you've made here recently, which is who's the dominant team, and then can you emerge because there isn't a dominant team? If the dominant team is Milwaukee, I think you take your chances and you prefer that to the dominant team being LA, for example.
So this time last year on August 7th, I remember because I was in Italy.
Oh, must be nice.
They were 63-52 after a 9-8 victory in extra innings over the Pittsburgh Pirates because of Jackson Merrill's clutch home run where he went 4 for 5 in the game with 4 RBIs, 2 homers.
Oh, yeah, that's when I tagged you and said, never come back.
Right. Like, just stay in Europe.
Because this team is unbelievable.
And what are they right now? What's their record right now?
I think it's actually better than that. They are 64-51.
So they're better than they were last year at this
by
time.
A game.
By 1 game.
Again, that team last year kept going. And we'll see if this Padres team keeps going on that pace.
Well, they went on to win. I mean, they were so right now.
Well, they went 30-17.
Yeah, August 10th last year, they were 66-52. They just kept winning games and
again, I don't care. Games. Honestly, I don't care the number they get to. I care that they put themselves in position. Again, I prefer the home field as opposed to not having the home field, or I'd prefer to be the top wild card to the second, or I'd prefer the division to not winning the division. Like all those things that are so attainable right now is, of course, everyone's preference. And, you know, the way you look at it right now, I mean, it's not just the fact that you play the Dodgers 6 times. It's the fact that the Padres have put together a good team. You know, it's not just that you play the Dodgers 6 times and the opportunity is in front of you. And I agree that is a huge thing to consider in the grand scheme because you do control some of your destiny. It's not just about that. It's about the team AJ's put together. It's about feeling confident about what they have here with the good rotation, with the good bullpen, with the better lineup and the better bench. You put it together. And I go back to what I said in the first hour. It's like, I'm taking my chances with what they put together. And if it's not good enough, so be it. But I think there's a chance that it might be good enough.
I really like this roster, man.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this roster a lot. There's still going to be some twists and turns and ups and downs remaining in this season. It's all
Toddy.
Yeah. We haven't even talked about Tatis today, but there are still going to be some games that, you know, will be considered bad losses. Hopefully very few of them. It's not going to be a straight line, but they're closer to being on a straight line here than they were. And a lot of the credit, I mean, all the credit to me, a lot of the credit goes to AJ because also it's up to these players to go out there and play. And it's up to these players to go out and produce and perform. And if they can continue to go out there and produce and perform, it's going to just make AJ look even better at his job.
Completely. I remember last night we spent months this year saying, man, that big 4 better carry them on offense because there's not much behind it. And now, and it's 1 out of 162, and any team can win in any way in one game. But last night, the top 4 doesn't even have Tatis. The rest of the grouping in the top 4 goes 1 for 17 in the game, and they win. And that's because they did get production from Xander, and they did get production from O'Hearn off the bench, and they did get production from Freddie Fermin.
Mhm.
So, again, every night's going to be unique to itself. You're 100% right. There'll be another bad loss. You're exactly right. And then, what are we going to be saying then? Well, if it's a rarity, if it's a one-off, you're not going to feel that bad about it. And for every bad loss, hopefully you have multiple good wins. I thought last night becomes a good win. It would have been a bad loss because you're trailing in the 9th inning on the road. But you're right. I mean, there's going to be twists and turns.
Dude, I had a tweet already set up
Like bad loss.
for the wrap-up show last night. All I had to do was just hit send. And like 2 seconds later, Ryan O'Hearn hits that game-tying home run. Delete.
Honestly, dude, it's so funny you say that.
Do you have it? I think I sent it to you.
You did. You should take ChatGPT. Say, hey, ChatGPT, here's the Padres schedule. Give me a tweet for a win and give me a tweet for a loss for every game. It'll be like August 18th. What a terrible loss to LA. We're talking about it next on the wrap-up show. Yeah, what did you have written? I have it.
I deleted it.
Did you really?
Yeah, because it was my draft.
You
I
should
just
have
deleted
tweeted
it.
it.
But I sent it to you. I said I had this drafted, ready to go. Like, no joke, 2 minutes later, Ryan O'Hearn hits that home run.
Right.
What did I say?
Here it is.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Said very bad loss, very bad series, and a missed opportunity with the Dodgers loss today. Wrap up show starts right now.
It's so you. And it's so true.
Because that's how crazy things can be as far as a win and a loss goes with less than 50 games remaining. Every loss feels like the end of the world. Every win feels like the greatest thing ever. The parade's going to be on Market Street very soon. Like, that's just how it feels in this time of the year.
It is, but you do have to have perspective to go further than what Talking Friars tweeted out yesterday regarding Xander Bogaerts. That
Who?
we're going to discuss on the other side. Because while Xander has been very good, and I've been among the people to come to his defense, I will not go as far.
You bought his jersey recently, right?
It's in the card. I will not go as far as some went last night on social media related to Xander Bogaerts and his contract. In addition to that, what impact does sitting Fernando Tatis Jr. have on Toddy? Come tomorrow night at Petco Park. Coming up at 3:30, Taj DeGorville, San Diego State outstanding sophomore guard. He will join us, and Darnay Tripp will join the show from NBC 7 at 4:30. This is John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760. All right, hey guys, it is John and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place, and we've been telling you about this. Now open, the hotel and spa at Jamul Casino Resort, the next level of luxury. It's arrived. Treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort, now all in one unforgettable destination.
So winning a Best of San Diego award, we know a little bit about, right? Well, also, Jamul Casino knows a little bit about that as well, because thanks to your votes, their hotel, restaurants, rooftop, and incredible team members were once again highlighted by San Diego Union Tribune as the best of 2025 resort and restaurants. When you're ready to taste victory, check out where to go at Jamul Casino.
You're also going to love Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. We've been there a number of times. Just a terrific spot to eat and watch all the sports, including, of course, baseball this summer in San Diego. So check it out. Get to the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, we all remember that one teacher who made a difference, believed in us, challenged us, or just made learning fun. Now's your chance to say thank you in a big way with iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate outstanding public school teachers gone above and beyond for their students to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Today's teacher of the day is Ashley Cole, who teaches at Breeze Hill Elementary in Vista. People told us Ashley is dedicated to her kids. She was a volunteer for 3 years and did her time as a sub, and now she can finally support her students in her own class. Congrats, Ashley. You're in the running for $5,000 for your classroom. Nominate your favorite teacher at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
Can I just take a left turn here real quick on the show? And just you're gonna be like, why are you doing this?
I know you so well that I could write right now in a document what you're saying, and I already know what you're saying.
What am I gonna say?
It's about Slater going down with the Chargers. I know. I already know.
Well, I had it up on my phone,
but I've already listened to the segment in my head.
What
franchise is cursed. It's only August. It's so Chargers. Chargers gonna Charger. They never should have left. Dean's the worst. I don't understand why they couldn't get something done. Yeah, does the city take some blame? They do.
Say that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, they started out well, and then you just completely went a different
I don't know
path.
why they left. No, I mean, all right, but go down the path.
Well, it is so Chargers, right? I mean,
it is.
And look, I'm not laughing at this guy's injury, but
no,
yeah, that franchise is. I mean, it is just beyond cursed. If you don't believe in cursed franchises in professional sports, look no further than the LA Chargers. That franchise has cursed written right above their facility doors. It's just, I mean, every year, man. And you know what? I mean, I don't care because I just don't care about that franchise anymore. But still, when these things pop up, you're like, how could you not believe that franchise is cursed?
When you sign a player to a 4-year, $114 million deal, and a month later he's out for the year.
Not even a month later. I think he signed it like
a week later. Yeah, exactly. It was in July. But weeks later or a week later, he's out for the year. Yeah, I'm willing to go down that path as well. This isn't just like in football, players get hurt, of course. But you sign like a cornerstone to a 4-year, $114 million deal, and a week later, he's out for the year. You know, the Aaron Rodgers with the American flag?
This was shorter than that.
Exactly. So it was in the regular season.
Right. You played a couple snaps.
That's the thing with football. And like you said, it's not because of the individual. I mean, I'm not rooting for injuries, nor are you.
Nope.
But with football, there's an inevitability. And the teams that maneuver their way through, of course, they deal with injuries, but they avoid the earth-shattering ones, don't they? Like, did the Eagles win the Super Bowl with Saquon Barkley going down last August? Let me answer that. No.
Do the Chiefs make every single Super Bowl
without Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Now quarterbacks do get hurt.
They deal with injuries. Every team does.
Yeah.
But it's how you manage those injuries, and you got to be sometimes a little lucky.
100%, man.
And in sports, you rather be lucky than good sometimes.
Especially football.
Football is
you know what? It's not just football, because it's true that anytime there's a pitcher on the mound, there's something that can happen with an arm. And in basketball, we're seeing these ridiculous amount of Achilles injuries that have popped up. So it happens in all the sports, and those are crazy injuries. Pitching arm injuries, Achilles injuries are huge injuries. But in football, man, you know that you're going to have to deal with it, and you just hope it isn't the wrong guy that derails you. And I don't know enough if that truly means everything has gone haywire, but that's not how they were looking to start their year. I promise you that.
And I have truly come to hate training camp.
Because this is what happens.
Well, not only this, I see, obviously, I follow everything 49ers, and some of their reporters, they are the worst.
Wait, the reporters are the worst?
Yeah, some of the reporters that follow this team in particular, there's one out there. His name is Grant Cohn. He's the ultimate troll.
Well, you just called out the reporter and called him the worst? I'm intrigued.
I don't care.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know the guy, but he's just a complete troll. And all he does is tweet out like training camp stats, like they matter at all. And for me now, I don't care about anything that happens in training camp as long as the main players come out of training camp healthy. That's all I care about. That's all I look for now after practice days in training camp for my football team is, did everybody stay healthy? Was there any injuries? And if there's no injuries, then I consider that a successful day of training camp.
Yeah, that's 100% accurate. It's 100% accurate.
Like, I don't care how many interceptions Brock Purdy threw in training camp.
No, you're just wait. You want to avoid the tweet that says Purdy's dealing with an elbow,
or avoid the tweet that said Rashawn Slater just got carted off the field.
That's probably even worse than someone dealing with an elbow. 100%.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, I'm willing to go down that cursed path with you. I thought, it's funny. We talked about this when they hired Harbaugh. We both kind of agreed, like, there might be an inevitability when you just look at Harbaugh's track record. At some point, he'll point the Chargers in the right direction. Certainly doesn't mean they're winning a Super Bowl, but he's going to point them to, 9, 10, eventually 11 wins. They're going to get into the postseason. You get into the postseason a couple of times, maybe you make a run.
Just say,
but maybe it's the Chargers that take the precedent over the head coach.
I was going to say, if Jim Harbaugh, who wherever he has gone, he has won at the highest of levels, like national championships, been to Super Bowls, bowl games. Like he just wins wherever he goes.
I don't know about national championships, but I get your point. He won at Stanford at a high level.
I said bowl games.
You said national championships.
Well, yeah. Did he not win a national championship with Michigan?
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, he won the national championship with Michigan.
You're right. I was
over
over
Washington.
Yeah, you're 100% right. My bad.
So he's done it all. He's been to
right.
the mountaintop.
100%.
Everywhere he's gone, essentially.
Yeah,
and by the way, Stanford, to get to an Orange Bowl, like, that's probably the peak.
Well, no, and he got to Rose Bowls, right?
I don't know if he got to a Rose Bowl. I think I know he got to an Orange Bowl. They won an Orange Bowl with Andrew Luck.
I have to look it up. They were great.
Yeah, they're really
They
good.
had an amazing run. Yeah.
If he can't get this pitiful Chargers franchise to a level where he's accustomed to going with everywhere he's gone, then my claim of and it's not just me that says this, it's a lot of people that they're cursed will be even more true.
Has more, I agree.
More validity.
All right, we're going to switch gears. Our Aztec basketball summer series continues on the other side with San Diego State's standout sophomore guard Taj DeGorville. He'll join us next. Then Darnay Tripp at 4:30 with more on the Padres post-trade deadline. Stay with us, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Allstate. We'll start with breaking news in the NFL. Rashawn Slater, who just signed a 4-year, $114 million contract extension last month with the Chargers, suffered a season-ending ruptured patella tendon at practice on Wednesday. He will miss the 2025 NFL season. Padres have an off day coming off of a victory last night against the Arizona Diamondbacks. They start a 3-game series with the Boston Red Sox tomorrow night at Petco Park. Saturday will be the return of Michael King, as he is scheduled to make his return to the rotation Saturday night. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate First. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate First for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Darnay Trip coming up at 4:30. Darnay will have a lot of thoughts on the Padres post-trade deadline, getting ready for the Boston Red Sox tomorrow at Petco Park. We're hoping to connect with Taj DeGorville.
I thought you were going to just stop say, yeah, he has a lot of thoughts.
He has thoughts.
He has thoughts about things.
You know, it's funny because I consider him to be a very good baseball mind. That's the whole point. No, but what I was going to say is he sees things. Sometimes we see things through the same lenses. Other times we don't. Similar to me and you. We're both baseball people.
Darnay is very good.
He's very good.
Yes.
But it's the beauty of a sport like baseball. And maybe you say the same in basketball and football as well. But it's so like between the lines.
The nuances of the game.
Like you might see it completely differently than I do.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean one of us is necessarily right and the other one is necessarily wrong. But that's kind of the beauty of it. All right, we're going to connect with Taj. Oh, of course you sneezed.
I had to get it out of the way.
You really did. So Taj DeGorville is coming off a really good, impressive, true freshman season. I think when I think it was BJ Davis on a few days ago, we always said, like on the Mesa, it is hard to break through as a young guard at San Diego State when you consider all the veteran players that have come through here and haven't played a lot as freshmen. I'm thinking about Lamont Butler and Miles Byrd and BJ Davis, but Taj DeGorville a year ago really burst onto the scene. He's with us right now on John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. And Taj, we appreciate you taking time for us today. Hope you're doing well.
Oh, it was good, John. I appreciate you having me.
All right.
Doing well too.
All right. We appreciate you hopping on. Let's just start with summer practice because you guys have been in the jam for weeks at this point. What has the offseason been like and how have summer practices been going for you and your teammates?
It's been really good so far. It's just really competitive. We just all working hard because we all got one goal in mind. So it's been pretty good.
Going back to last year, Taj, did you expect to have such a critical role with this team so early on? And for you, second part of this question, like what's your favorite memory you had from last year's season?
Yeah, for myself, I like to give myself high expectations. So I believe I could have did more last year, and I'm just grateful for what I was given and what I earned. But my favorite memory from last season, it has to be I think UNR was my favorite time last year. We went to UNR. I played really well. My family, my mom, my sister was there, and my cousin. So that was a fun time for me, honestly.
Taj DeGorville with us, entering his sophomore season on the Mesa. Now, you spent a lot of time as a younger player before you got to college playing with your teammate right now in Faro Compton, and you saw that comfort level play out at times on the floor a year ago. How long does it take to get to that level of chemistry with the player? And not just Faro, but what about the rest of your teammates, getting to that comfort level with your teammates?
Honestly, not that long. Like me and P, instantly just click. So for my teammates now, it's just easy because we just all want to win, honestly, and that's what it is at the end of the day. Like me and P click so fast because he's a natural competitor and so am I. So it was easy to want to play with him, and just like all 13 of my teammates right now, I see all of them want to win. So we're gonna click right away too. We're gonna get along very well.
Absolutely. Everybody thinks that they can play, defense, and then they get to college and it becomes harder to play defense. But then if you come to San Diego State, the number one staple here is defense. So playing defense at the high school level compared to defense last year in the college level, and how important it is to play here at San Diego State. Just, how different is it from the high school level to the college level? And then specifically here, here with the Aztecs?
I mean, it's very different, honestly, but like you have to do more at this type of level. Everything's a little bit more technical here at San Diego State, but like we do the basics, honestly, and we're just demanding it every time. So it's just a certain type of expectation, and defense is our base. So you got to do defense at a high level here if you want to play.
No doubt about it. Taj DeGorville with us right now on John and Jim. Taj, for our listeners that haven't seen you since the season ended, where do you feel as if you've grown your game and just yourself between the end of last year to the point you're at right now?
Honestly, I would say like defensively wise, like I've gotten a better mentality defensively wise. And I say like my shooting has improved. I'm growing more confident shooting the ball as well. So yeah, those are like the two big main things that I worked on this summer, and that like the Aztec fans can look forward to seeing next year.
What's the talent level like on this team? I mean, you got so many returning players. I mean, every day in practice, you already talked about how summer's been going for you guys, but I mean, it's got to be a pretty cool feeling to walk in that gym every day, knowing that you guys have all this talent on the court here for this upcoming season.
No, for sure. It's a lot of talent on the team. I don't think I've ever been a part of it. I've actually been a part of one team that was really talented, but like this one is like it's similar to that, and it's a pretty cool feeling because everybody's capable of hooping on our team, so it's just very dangerous, honestly.
What team was that you were a part of?
I was on my 17U year Vegas Elite. I mean, we all went Division I. It was pretty cool. Like everybody was clicking, and like it was just a really talented team, honestly. Like a lot of high level players on that team. Any
notable names on that team that we might know of?
Phil Compton, John Mobley, who's at Ohio State, Christopher Woolley, who's at Rutgers, Tyron Stokes, who's still in high school, but I think he's number one player in the country.
Okay.
Aiden Sherrill, who's at Alabama. I'm here. Yeah, it was crazy, honestly.
That's stacked.
This is even crazier too, for sure.
Which is amazing to say. We're with Aztec sophomore guard Taj DeGorville. Taj, you know the saying, like iron sharpens iron. What have the practices been like going up against like this group of guards, the back and forth as you guys go at each other, yourself, Sean Newman Jr., and the others? What have those battles been like at practice?
It's definitely a battle for sure. Every day you go into the court, it's going to be a battle, and you're going to be tested. But it's like you want nothing more. Like when you're on the court, you want to play against good players and good competitors. So iron does sharpen iron, and I believe that like we're getting better every day because of how we approach the game every day towards one another.
What do you envision your role being on this team for this upcoming year?
Honestly, for this year, like I would say like more of a leading role, like just like vocally, like being able to speak more and just like being more aggressive and getting my teammates involved and getting myself involved. Like I don't know, whatever this year has for me, like I'm prepared. Like I'm 100% prepared. It's gonna be a fun year.
You know, it's funny, you go back a year ago and you're entering your freshman year, and now you're a sophomore, and you look around, there's some other players younger than you now on this team, specifically a freshman guard, LZ Harrington. Would you have advice for a freshman guard entering their first season at San Diego State, and what type of advice would you have for him getting ready for his first season of college basketball?
Yeah, I just want to shout out LZ real quick. He's going to be a very special player. I was just telling him to like just as a freshman, I was in the gym all the time. Like I was really locked in, like just trying to get better every day and just like picking up like knowledge from other players as well. Like is important because you want to see different type of aspects, like from people who's been in college for a longer time. So you just want to pick people's brains, and you also just want to just stay locked in, stay focused on your school and in the gym for real. But LG's going to be special for sure.
You know, you guys have a lot of returning players, and one of them's returning, but you didn't get to play with him last year in Reese Waters. So what's it been like to play with Reese and to watch his game on the court now that he's actually healthy?
It's gonna be good with Reese back. He's a special talent too. He works hard, plays hard. He does a lot of everything too. So it's for sure gonna be special, and it's really cool to see him play. It's really cool to play with him. He's just a very good player, very good brother. So yeah, it's gonna be special.
Before you go, Taj, my final one, I think I asked this to BJ Davis the other day, and it just, to me, is a little bit of a theme. Like, nobody ever wants to go out with a loss, but most teams in America go out with a loss unless you win a national championship game. So you get to the NCAA tournament as a freshman, which is an impressive accomplishment. But of course, the North Carolina game didn't go the way you and your teammates wanted it to go. Has that served as a point of motivation for you from that day on as you get ready for your next year?
Yeah, for sure. I think that game it's a lesson. Every game is a lesson. Every loss is a lesson. So we definitely still think about that. We know we're going to be better next time when that time comes around next year, or this coming year. So we just look forward to that.
Aztec fans, Taj, as you know, are so excited. Season will get underway before we know it in early November. We've enjoyed talking to yourself and your teammates over the course of the last couple of weeks, and we're looking forward to this fall. Thanks for taking time for us. We're here on the Aztecs flagship, and we'll do it again soon, all right?
Thanks, Taj.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, John.
All right, great stuff. Aztec sophomore guard Taj DeGorville with us on John and Jim.
Appreciate you, John.
San Diego Sports 760. Did you see how he thanked me?
I did. You did a great job.
I appreciate you, Jim. Were you here for this? Where were you? Were you
I just showed up right now. How was the interview?
I thought you had some good questions.
You know what's back, like on a serious note?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is how many guys have we talked to so far? We have talked to BJ Davis recently, Taj right now.
Farrell Compton we talked to a week ago. We talked to Miles when he elected to return.
Right.
So we've talked to 4 or 5 players this offseason.
Where I was going with this is I want to say every single one of them mentioned how they feel like they could be a leader of this team and that they want their voice to be heard. Like Taj told us, I feel like my leadership role and, make my voice be heard. BJ Davis yesterday, I feel like I'm becoming a leader on this team. My voice be heard. Like,
it's a good point.
You got a lot of guys on this team that are stepping up into the roles of, leadership and being accountable for each other and holding themselves accountable. And I think that's something that I've noticed when we talked to all these players so far this offseason.
Great point. They have a very unique opportunity. We've been talking so much about the opportunity in front of the Padres. I'm telling you, San Diego State basketball has a wonderful opportunity and a very high ceiling heading into the upcoming season. The Dodgers yesterday, by losing, did they win? That's what people want to know. Because, they lost, but did they win because they lost?
I think, I think they won yesterday, even though they lost the game. And they won the game, even though they lost. And Greg Amsinger, he makes a really good point. You're going to hear from him coming up next why the Dodgers actually won yesterday instead of losing the game.
They're almost better off losing. So we'll hear from Greg Amsinger, MLB Network on the other side. Coming up at 4:30, Darnay Tripp, NBC 7 on the Padres post-trade deadline. We're here until 6 p.m. Getting you ready for Padres and Red Sox tomorrow night down at Petco Park. John and Jim. All right, John and Jim. We're going to hear from Greg Amsinger, MLB Network, yesterday on the Dodgers losing to the Cardinals.
And Jake Peavy.
And
who else is on the
set there? I'll be honest with you. I'm excited to hear it because it'll be the first time I hear it. I saw it across my timeline. I'm like, I'm not watching this.
Oh, Harold Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got Harold Reynolds, Greg Amsinger.
Say that 3 times.
No.
But hold on. Before we get to it, I want to say something.
What do you want to say?
I want to say that what Talking Friars tweeted out yesterday is way too reactionary.
Okay.
And needs to be called out real quick. And we have time to do it. But like, listen, I've been the biggest apologist for Xander Bogaerts there's been the last 2 months, right? Like, he's been better. But 2 things, I always use this saying, 2 things are true. And 2 things can be true. Just because Xander has been better, and he played an instrumental role in a couple of wins for them. And that's great. That's his job. He should be doing that. But to tweet out last night, the Xander contract could end up being a good one after this season if all things go well. So cool to see him locked in. No, don't take the bridge and try to that's a bridge too far is what you're doing. Just say he's had a good 2 months. Yeah, I mean, sure, if the Padres win a World Series,
yeah, and he's a huge part of
everything
it.
changes when that happens in a lot of different
facets. Who cares about the contracts anymore?
But you can't say because Xander has played well for the last 50-something games or that all of a sudden this 11-year, $280 million contract is a quote-unquote good one. We still wished when he signed the deal he would play like the player he was in Boston. That hasn't happened. And I would admit that even though he's played better, he still hasn't been the productive player that he was when he was playing at an elite level in Boston. So don't tell me that the contract is a good one because he's been good for 2 months. That doesn't make the contract a good one.
No, 2 months of good play does not take away from the fact that the first 2.5 years here were really bad.
And he still hasn't crossed the Boston bar, and I don't think he will. Hence the fact that it's not going to be the greatest contract. Now, it might look better than it did previously by performing.
He's been great the last what?
What'd you say? You cut out.
He's been great.
He's been solid. He's been very good. He's been impactful. I mean, he has.
But at the end of the day, on the season, guys hitting 271 with 9 homers, 40 RBIs, and he has a 738 OPS.
Which, again, when they signed that deal, we would have said was subpar expectation, right?
100%.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't anemic by any stretch. Mm-hmm. And he actually could put himself over the edge by hitting with runners in scoring position and coming up with 15 RBIs over a 20-game stretch.
But slow it down there.
Yeah, that's where I just feel like the reaction we love, and we do this. We react strongly to things. But Xander having a good 2 months or even a great series in Arizona doesn't make his contract a good one. It makes it a good stretch of play for Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, I'm on the record saying that his contract, in my opinion, is the worst in franchise history.
I mean, we did say that, and we turned his season around.
Yep. Ever since then, he has played phenomenal.
He has. So hopefully it continues. And then maybe Ben will look smart.
Maybe. And if they win a World Series, then
that does change the conversation.
Then the conversation completely changes. It changes about everything. Really. Everything changes if they win a World Series. Leo DeVries, who cares? Xander's contract, whatever.
Trophy cases have trophies in them.
Exactly.
Everything changes for forever.
And everybody at that parade won't be there. There won't be one person at that parade being like, you know what?
I wish we had
that $280 million contract to Xander, even though he hit 12 homers this year, hit 265 with a 730 OPS. I don't really know about that.
And guys, I know we're celebrating, but Ryan Bergert, I'm telling you,
Leo DeVries in 3 years,
in Kansas City.
I did see this and we're probably going to have to push this thing back here to 4:00, but I did see this wild take on the interwebs here recently about the recent Padres moves and how it was actually from Section 1904, Darren's podcast.
Okay.
Runs it with a guy named John Gennaro.
Mm-hmm.
Never met John, but good dude. And he was doing a piece about, with fans. And there was one particular fan that didn't like the moves that AJ made because he's not interested in Padres baseball anymore because he wanted to see the prospects that AJ, drafted and developed come through the system instead of AJ trading them away for good players. And he was uninterested in this Padres team anymore.
It's the Kentucky one and done basketball theory, and it's not true because Kentucky basketball, if they win a national championship, people will take it being with one and dones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in this era of roster churn, you still just want your team to win. Like the idea, and I agreed with what Peter Sadler said. Hey, we want to have these players that are marketable and that people can grow up with. You know, you can grow up as a young child with Manny Machado, and rest assured he'll be here for a decade. I agree with that sentiment, but above all is winning. And if one day comes when Manny has to go to make your team better, the business of sport churns that out. Now, there's exceptions. Kobe's entire career, Derek Jeter, maybe Manny Machado, the way he finishes his career here, but we have seen Michael Jordan in a Wizards jersey. We've seen Shaq in a Suns jersey.
Yes.
I mean, where did he play? Everywhere.
Celtics jersey. And a
So
Cavs
you know what I mean?
jersey.
Though? Like there's a churn. I'm all for Manny Machado winning World Series here, and I hope it happens. I hope it happens multiple times. But I also understand that you got to put winning above anything else. And thankfully, they can do two things. They can win with their stars, but one day the stars go. That's just how sports work.
I just didn't understand the thought process, and I really tried to understand it. But the more I thought about it, I was like, how could you, as a Padres fan, not enjoy what's happening right now because they traded away Leo DeVries?
Why would you care more about, just hypothetically speaking, like the number 2 prospect in your organization in Fort Wayne as opposed to your team in San Diego? Now, I get wanting to see top prospects emerge, Jackson Merrill, Fernando Tatis Jr., but in the same respect, you're getting a chance to see Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jackson Merrill.
And these aren't a bunch of hired mercenaries on this team.
No, not at all.
Manny's been here for 6 seasons, and he'll be here for another 6 seasons. Jackson Merrill will be here for another decade, just like Fernando Tatis Jr. and just like Xander Bogaerts. And we'll see about Jay Cronenworth, but he's here for the long haul. Joe Musgrove's been here for a long time, even though he's not pitching. Like, it's not a bunch of hired mercenaries where they're all coming in and they're all brand new every day to just try to go win a World Series.
It's not the Florida Marlins. It's not the 97 Marlins. And by the way, the 97 Marlins won the World Series.
Yeah. And hey, you can fan however you want to fan. I just think that thought process is kind of insane to me.
Yeah, that is kind of an interesting one.
You don't like winning? You rather have this team have kept Leo DeVries and not try to win?
Yeah, I've never been a believer in that. And also because the Padres have never won a World Series, it makes more of an emphasis on winning at the major league level to me. Like now more than ever, you have to win at the major league level. We will hear from Greg Amsinger, MLB Network, on the other side. We'll get to the wrap as well. Darnay Tripp will join us coming up at 4:30. We've got a giveaway for you today as well. We're going to give away tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd. This is August 17th coming up. Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater on campus at San Diego State. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. So we'll give those tickets away in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll have Darnay Tripp from NBC7 join us coming up at 4:30. We're getting ready for Padres and Red Sox to begin a series tomorrow night down at Petco Park. Just a huge series. Tons ahead for you over the next 2 hours. Don't go anywhere. This is John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Breaking news in the NFL. Chargers left tackle Rashawn Slater suffered a season-ending ruptured patella tendon at practice on Wednesday. He just signed a 4-year, $114 million contract extension. Tough break for him. And the Padres have an off day today before they start a 3-game series with the Boston Red Sox tomorrow night at Petco Park. The Padres also announced last night Michael King will return to the rotation, and he will start on Saturday night. Need HVAC? This month, get 0% for 18 months on a new system. Schedule your free proposal at AndersonPHA.com. Anderson, fast, reliable. Wow.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of John and Jim. We are with you until 6 o'clock tonight. Darnay Trip, NBC 7, joins us in 30 minutes. We'll give away tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd later this hour as well. We'll push the wrap back a few minutes. So set up this conversation on MLB Network yesterday about the Dodgers who lost but won.
So Shohei Ohtani pitched yesterday for the Dodgers. All right. He's making, his way back to, I guess, full strength here on the mound. Still not pitching deep into games, but he's back out there. He's looking okay. And they gave up a lead late in that game. They were winning, and they gave up 2 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th. They lost 5-3 to the Cardinals. I believe they lost the series as well.
They did lose the series.
Okay. Yeah, Ohtani, he had a homer in the game. He also started the game, went 4 innings, 8 strikeouts, no walks. Their new reliever that they traded for, that everybody says was the greatest pitcher ever, Brock Stewart, he gave up the lead and ended up hurting the team yesterday. So anyway, Cardinals win the series, and you would think like, the talking point with the Dodgers right now is like, what's wrong with the Dodgers? Like they're 10-17 in their last 27 games. They just lost the series to the Cardinals. They just blew a lead against the Cardinals, and now there's only 2-game lead in the National League West here between them and the Padres. So that's what I think the talking point should be on MLB Network. They had other ideas. This is Greg Amsinger, Jake Peavy, who we all love, and Harold Reynolds post game after the Cardinals beat the Dodgers.
First time I'm saying this all year. We just watched a team win a game that they lost. The Los Angeles Dodgers won this game, but the Cardinals won it 5-3 by the score. The key, Jake, was to see Shohei Ohtani find that ace stuff again. We knew we were going to see more length in the start than we saw all year. He had gone 3 innings a couple times. We were expecting 4 innings. We didn't just see 4 innings. We saw a game 1 starter in terms of his stuff.
Greg, I don't know anybody in the league that has this. Nobody in the league has this kind of power arm and this kind of stuff to go with it, right? And I'm going to show you here, too, with Shohei. At times, you don't overthink it. You let the swings dictate themselves. And this is how the game started. Really nice play by Call there. The defense shows up early, but the 2 pitchers are in the middle of the plate. Watch him make adjustments, right? Burleson right here, he goes 1-0. He knows fastball's coming. Can't pull the trigger because it's 99 in the corner. You don't pull the trigger, and you're taking it, I'm going to keep it's 3 in a row. It's 99, 99, and 100. This is Newt Bar. This is to lead off the second. It's 1-0. You're not going to catch up with the fastball. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm throwing it again. Still hadn't caught it. You don't overthink it. You stay right there. Just truly remarkable when you watch the way he's able to move the ball, the shapes. That was 86, that was 100, and now that's 91. 3 different looks that you cannot cover. 1-0 again. This is Burleson, again the 4th. This is after he hit the homer. 1-0, 2 straight fastballs. Okay, 100. Let me try it one more time. 101. Are you kidding me? Okay, he's on it. I'm going to throw you something different. It doesn't even matter. It wasn't perfectly executed. It's just something different. Now watch this. He's got 76. He's got a split. He didn't execute it, but it's 76 to 92. I'm going to hype it up to fastball at 99. Now watch this. 89 mile an hour. At 76, 92, 99, 89. Different shapes for days. Nobody has this many pitches in this kind of stuff. That's a strike. Need it. Watch him put this away. Just perfect execution. Oh my goodness. Again, different looks and sizes. And you want to know, this guy also does this. You saw it. It's not fair. This is like the best player on a Little League team. Not only is he the best pitcher and as good of a pitcher arm as we have in the league, he's also that good of a batter, as good of a batter hitter we have in the league.
And of course, Ohtani's 1,000th career hit is a homer.
So will his 3,000. I know people are getting tired of us making a big deal about this, but I just showed you the different shapes and sizes. Imagine you, Darvish. It's you, Darvish, with those different looks and shapes, all different sizes. And then he also is throwing 100 to 101. Every fastball was 97 to 101.
And flirting with his second straight 50 homer season. Like, folks, if you have Ohtani fatigue, you need to rev up your fandom, because what we're witnessing is the most talented human that's ever played the game.
You can see his arm starting to come back now. These 4 innings today, you start to see, oh gosh, this guy is a #1 starter.
And I have friends in St. Louis that were texting me going, you're seriously talking about Ohtani after the Cardinals just took 2 or 3 against
people
the
not happy with me.
Right.
I don't care.
They took 2 series by.
I'll just be honest with you. Guys, we're seeing something we'll never, ever see again. I'm sorry. And there'll be other guys that come along, but they're not going to do this. This is the greatest player dominating at a time. We're watching Michael Jordan in the Jordan era. I mean, it's just, there's so many great players in baseball. There were so many great basketball players when Michael Jordan played. But there was one guy you talked about, win, lose, or draw. When Ohtani performs like this, it's next level.
Yeah.
Lord. Can I just...
Do I need to give them a tissue?
Jeez. Can I just say this? What has changed? So now Ohtani's pitching again, so therefore the world's changed. He's made 8 starts and thrown 19 innings. Like, they won the World Series without him pitching. It's not like him going 3 innings has changed the calculus on the Dodgers. I really don't think it's changed anything. Like, oh, well, without him pitching, they're in nothing. But now that he's pitching well, man, this changes everything. I mean, I can't believe they would go to that length to discuss his 4 innings when they would lose the game. It's August.
Yeah. And they've lost they've gone 10-17 and lost 27 games. And there's a 2-game lead in the National League West between them and the Padres, who are on their tail. Do they honestly think that by trying to yell at the average fan, or not even the average fan, but just fan of other teams, because this is MLB Network, this is not the Dodgers Network, even though it sounded like the Dodgers Network there.
Right.
And I'll excuse Jake Peavy. He just was pointing out how good Ohtani's pitches were, and I'm not going to criticize Peavy, but I will blast Amsinger and Harold Reynolds all day. Do they think it's a good idea, and that people are just going to be like, you know what, guys, you're right. I love that you're talking about the Dodgers all the time, even though I hate the Dodgers and I hate Ohtani. And I'm a Cardinals fan, but you know what? You're right. Ohtani was amazing today. So let's talk about Ohtani instead of the fact that the Dodgers lost 2 or 3 to the Cardinals. Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. Nobody's going to agree with you unless you're a Dodgers fan.
Yeah, I don't understand what he accomplished yesterday that was so unique in the career arc or story of Shohei Ohtani, because he went 4 innings.
Oh, wow.
So what?
Struck out 8 guys. Congratulations.
He went 4 innings today, and okay. I mean, what changes? So what? I don't understand. What is the point? We've seen him throw 4 innings. We've seen him be really good on the mound, because now it's different. He's fully back, I guess.
And when I hear stuff like that from national guys, and I have no problem with Greg Amsinger or Harold Reynolds, but what they said there was just completely stupid, and that's just ridiculous. And when I keep on hearing that stuff from the national media, like trying to shove it down everybody's throat, like how great this guy is and how we have to respect him and we have to view him as the greatest player that ever lived, it makes me despise and hate Ohtani even more than I already do.
Which again, I don't doubt what's good for business. I mean, I think you talk about LeBron, whether the Lakers are good or not. I think you talk about Steph, whether the Warriors are good or not. I think you talk about Dak, whether the Cowboys are good or not. I get it. Ohtani drives the bus of the sport, but you can't go to such an nth degree where you lose all credibility. You can't spend 4 minutes and 14 seconds. You cannot spend 4 minutes and 14 seconds on 4 shutout innings from a guy when you lose the game. Like that's egregious. And to speak on him in such glowing terms against the St. Louis Cardinals at home in a Wednesday afternoon game makes no sense to me. Let's go to the phones here. Marco wants to weigh in. 877-767-4760 if you want to weigh in.
They won, but they lost, but they really won.
No sense. 877-767-4760. Marco, you're on with John and Jim.
Yeah, guys, the real story is that not liking San Diego or ever giving us love is institutional. It's been happening since the beginning. The real story is that the Padres are 2 games out of the Dodgers. We just smacked those Cardinals around. We won both series, and we should be talking about that. Instead, we're talking about Ohtani. So this is nothing new, guys. It's been happening.
Oh, yeah. Are you saying you and I, Marco, like John and Jim are talking Ohtani, or they are talking about Ohtani?
No, they're talking Ohtani. No, I thought you guys were setting it up for me. but the real story is the Padres 2 games out, and we just beat the Cardinals. And it's like, oh, maybe the Padres are in it. And we just never get love. And it's okay because we've been doing that for years with the Chargers, everything down here, guys.
Thanks, Marco. Appreciate the call.
The one other thing I would say, and someone tagged me in a tweet right now, and the point is valid from Quacked on Padres, right? Not his real name, but right, loyal listener, supporter.
That's not his real name.
I don't think his real name is.
His parents didn't decide to name him Quacked on Padres.
But thank you, Quacked on Padres, for the Fernando Tatis
Jr.
His
real name.
Thank you for the Fernando Tatis Jr. auto card that he brought by the office earlier today for my son Jones, because that is above and beyond. The point that also gets lost in this, and I won't go too far in on this, but we should recall that Ohtani's first ever postseason was fine, right? The Dodgers, as in, this just proves the point that it's a team game. That all this love affair that we just heard about the 4 innings and this changes the calculus and everything. Well, he's one player. He was one player in the Angels when the team wasn't good. He was one player in the Dodgers when the team was good. Last year, without pitching, they won the World Series. Okay. And secondly, without pitching, last year in the postseason, he hit .230 with an OPS of 767. He was fine, but he wasn't out of this world. He wasn't world changing. He wasn't the sole reason why they won the World Series. People lose sight of that in baseball. There's no LeBron James, really. You need to do it from a team perspective. He could have an amazing postseason this time around, Jim. They could still not win the World Series or vice versa. So I just think that's going way too far for some random start in Shohei Ohtani's long career.
Yeah, I will raise my hand and I will say I despise Shohei Ohtani. Sorry.
Your hand is up.
My hand is up. I despise Ohtani. I don't care what anybody says. I am a fan of the sport, and I'm a fan, and I hate the Dodgers more than any franchise in any other league. I hate Ohtani. I hate every single player on the Dodgers, and sorry about it. And so hearing that just makes my eyes roll so far in the back of my head, like, oh my God, give me a break. I can't stand him.
You just need to rev up your fandom.
Folks, if you have Ohtani fatigue, you need to rev up your fandom.
Oh, you're right,
Brent.
Rev it up.
But here's the other thing. It's like it's so true that, like, you know, they say like sex sells. It's like Ohtani drives the bus. Like, he's the story of the sport. Are you going to get 4 minutes and 14 seconds on Nick Pivetta?
No.
Who's had obviously a much better year on the mound than Shohei Ohtani. I mean, Shohei Ohtani's made 8 starts and thrown 19 innings. Don't tell me he's some game changer. He could be, like any of these guys could be. We don't know the difference for the team that wins the World Series. It could be Nick Pivetta for the Padres. It could be Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers. It could be whomever on the Brewers, so on.
Rev up your fandom.
So yeah, I don't understand why I would. Here, you want to rev up my fandom? Give me 4 minutes on how Nick Pivetta is in the midst of a career year and is 8-0 at home and facing his former team tomorrow night.
This is a good text from 619. It says, I think they were ready to glaze Ohtani before the Doyers lost, but decided not to change their takes.
Like, we already got it in the system, guys. Yeah. It's on the teleprompter.
Like, we regardless of what happens in this game, we are going to get on our knees for Ohtani and glaze him up like you've never been glazed before, because we are not changing this segment, guys.
What did they say too? It's what like it's the shapes of his pitches, but it was also something else that said. I'm like, what are you even talking about?
Well, it was PV talking about his his stuff, which
I get it, but we were going places that I mean, is his stuff actually unmatched in the sport?
You know how many
is
guys
his stuff actually unmatched in the sport?
No, you know how many guys throw 100 and have nasty breaking pitches?
That's what I'm saying. Like he's
30 off the top of my head.
His stuff is really good, but there's a lot of guys. I go back to like what Nick Pivetta has done this year. That there's a lot of guys that deserve acclaim for what they've done to this.
And what makes him different, and I will agree to this, is he can go out there and throw 100 on the mound and strike guys out, and also hit it 450 feet out.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the one thing, of course. No, but that hasn't changed.
No, it hasn't.
The 4 minutes and 14 seconds, they could have said that in 2018. All right, we'll get to the wrap on the other side. It's John and Jim. Darn a trip in 10 minutes, which means we should get right to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Will Fernando Tatis Jr. be better following his day off?
I think so. I called it. I'm calling it on the John and Jim show right now. I did it on the wrap-up show last night. He will hit a home run tomorrow night. Walker Buehler is on the mound for the Red Sox. His lifetime numbers against Walker Buehler are very good. 4 home runs off of Walker Buehler. His most recent one, everyone will remember, Game 3 of the NLDS here at Petco Park, literally started like an earthquake downtown. I think a couple days off is going to help Toddy, and I think that the matchup that he's going to get on Friday will help him as well. I think I'm trying to speak it into existence more than anything. Yes, he'll be better.
I mean, if he takes off after the off day, I'll be like, why didn't they give him an off day sooner? But I will buy what you're selling. I think he could play better as a result. It would be unbelievable if he comes home and does homer, because he's only done it 4 times in over 2 months. So I'm buying what you're selling, that he will be better following his off day. How much better remains to be seen.
Are the Chargers cursed? I was waiting for you to say go.
Oh, next question.
Are the Chargers cursed? 100%. That franchise is cursed. As long as Dean Spanos, that giant blob of a human, is in charge of that team and the owner of that franchise, they will be a cursed franchise.
Are the Chargers cursed? Yeah, you could make a compelling argument that they are. They lose their left tackle for the year, who just signed a $114 million deal. So, yeah, maybe, potentially.
Maybe
potentially. I don't know. Next question.
Would you be disappointed if the Padres didn't win the division?
I think at this point in time, yeah, I think I would. I think I would be more disappointed, though, if they aren't at least like a 4 seed, a 5. I mean, 5 seed, okay. If they were a 6 seed, I'd be disappointed. They still, I mean, obviously the goal is to make the postseason. You want to make the postseason, and you could get to a World Series as a 6 seed. We've seen it done before in the National League. But with how they're playing right now, all the moves they've made, the upgrades at areas of need, like, I would hope they do better than that. So, yeah, I think there would be some disappointment if they don't end up catching the Dodgers and win the division. Yeah, especially with how close they are right now.
I mean, that's how I honestly feel. I think it will be disappointing. Doesn't mean it can't be overcome in the postseason when it truly, truly, truly matters. But, yeah, it's right there. This is a wonderful opportunity. We'll see a ton of Padres-Dodgers in the weeks ahead here in August. So, yes, I mean, based on how they're playing and based on these expectations, I do think, in fact, I know I'd be disappointed if they don't win the division. Final question.
Who's going to lead the Padres in home runs?
That would be Manny Machado. Can't say Ramon Laureano or Ryan O'Hearn, because those guys weren't here. They have a good home run total in the year, but they've only got 2 on the season for the Padres combined. So,
well, you could say Fernando Tatis Jr.
I could, but I'm going to need to see him hit some home runs first for him to do that.
I mean, they're
separated 4 since May 28th.
They're separated by 3. And Machado, in a Padres uniform, has never hit more than 32. I'd still be surprised if he hit more than that this year. There's only 40-something games remaining in the year. I think maybe he gets to 30. And I agree with you. I think Toddy, it seems very unlikely he's getting beyond 25. I don't know if he's getting to 25. That's 8 more home runs
kind of crazy
in the final 40-something games of the year. But I think you're right. I think 33-year-old Manny Machado will probably hit 29 or 30 or 31 home runs, and that will lead the Padres in the regular season. And finish off what has been, we talked about this maybe the other night, maybe here. He's not going to finish first or second in MVP voting in all likelihood.
Top 5.
I mean, he could finish 3rd. He could, because what we know is Ohtani, I mean, you heard 4 minutes and 14 seconds.
Oh, yeah, the national media will glaze that guy.
He went 4 innings, so just give it to him.
Yeah.
And then Schwarber has had this ridiculous year offensively.
He'll get MVP votes for sure.
Yeah, and then Machado has just put together such a solid year, and of course Machado's never broken through by winning an MVP award. And I think one of the reasons why is, well, he's never had that 40 home run tally, but he does everything else. He does everything else. So he's going to get votes 100, and he will finish in the top 5 in MVP voting here in 2025, which is
as you should.
Yeah.
You should.
As he should. All right,
Yeah.
Darnay Tripp, NBC 7. He's going to join us coming up on the other side of this break. And we are here until 6 p.m. Later this hour, your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd. This will be August 17th at the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater. So we're giving away 2 tickets later this hour. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. But on the other side, Darnay Tripp. He's got a podcast. I think he had it actually earlier today on Friar Podcast. What is he, a newscaster? Is that what they're called? He's on the news. He's a sportscaster.
He's a news guy?
I don't know, whatever. He's a sportscaster on NBC 7, and he's a friend of the show. He'll join us next. Darnay Tripp, NBC 7 next, John and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by OfferUp. Download the app today. Padres have an off day today before they start a 3-game series against the Boston Red Sox tomorrow night at Petco Park. Michael King will return to the rotation as he is slated to make a start on Saturday night. And NFL news of the day, Chargers offensive tackle Rashawn Slater, who just signed a 4-year, $114 million contract extension last month, suffered a season-ending ruptured patella tendon at practice on Wednesday. Obviously, he's going to miss the rest of the 2025 season. Sure, a box can bring you a couch, but it won't make sure it fits in your space. Maria, though, who sold you her couch on OfferUp, helped you measure and helped you move it. Download OfferUp and discover life outside the box. Thanks, Maria.
All right, looking forward to getting the perspective of Darnay Tripp. He's got a really good podcast for Padres fans on Friar. You can catch him on the news, NBC7. I didn't know what to refer to you as earlier, Darnay. I was like, what is he, like a newscaster or like a sportscaster? What do you, when you are at a table, like you're at dinner,
I'm a newscaster,
with family,
everybody.
like it's you and your wife and you're out with like friends, which is so rare because you have twins at home, but you're out and you're like double dating. How do you say, hey, I'm Darnay, a sportscaster?
I thought you were just going to take a shot at me for not having friends, which is so rare for you to be out with friends because obviously that's not the case.
Correct. Say that about Jim. But no, like, do you say you're a sportscaster?
Huh?
I usually say I work for a local TV station and hope they don't ask a follow-up question.
That's what we do.
And they're like, are you on TV? I'm like, yeah. Like, what do you do? Sports. So it's usually like we kind of like a game of 20 questions backdoor our way into it. I'm not like busting into the room like, hey, I'm your local sportscaster. Not really. Like you guys, like, yeah, that's how you introduce yourselves, as like a multi-award winning radio show, John and Jim. You've probably heard us before or seen us on YouTube. I take a more subtle approach than you guys probably do.
Do they ever ask you if you know Julian Delgado or no?
Yeah, that's typically the first question that they ask.
And we always get, man, I really love listening to you on the Padres flagship.
Yeah, you're great there. That one take you had yesterday.
Man, that was good.
Yeah, I was like, we didn't say that.
Darnay Tripp, NBC7 with us on John and Jim. I just want your overall reaction to what Preller was able to do at the deadline, considering some of the constraints we thought he was up against. What did you make of what he was able to do in turning the team, over the way he did?
I mean, it's been awesome. I think, that's probably the obvious take just based on what we've seen so far. Good for Mason Miller having the bounce back performance he had last night. He's, the prize, I think, of the deadline. At least that's what we imagined initially. But Ramon Laureano, like the impact that he has had, O'Hearn, not as many at-bats as I think we would have liked at this point, but obviously having an impact yesterday. Freddie Fermin looks like a guy that I think many of us would be happy to have behind the plate for a number of years now. And like you said, to do it with financial constraints, to do it without dealing Dylan Cease or Robert Suarez was super impressive. And, he, I think, had the right touch in this case. Like he went for some star power in Mason Miller, but really just, building out the roster, filling in some of the holes, patching up some of the weak spots. Like you said, championship teams don't have weak links. You look at the team, it doesn't really seem to have any weak links right now. And Derek and I just did an episode of On Fire, and one of the things we talked about is this, or will it go down as AJ Preller's best trade deadline? I think it has to be this or getting Juan Soto and Josh Hader. And I think that one is kind of based on just the big name recognition that comes with those two stars. But I think there's a good chance when all is said and done and we look back on this with a little bit of hindsight, we feel like, all right, this is probably the better one just based on what they did or didn't give up and the way they really met the needs of this particular team and made the roster so much better with some really savvy moves.
So being as close as they are now to the Dodgers, just 2 games back, and they still have 6 games remaining against them. We were just talking about this. What's the level of disappointment you would have if they end up not winning the division now?
I don't know if I'd have any disappointment in them not winning the division. Obviously, that's what you want for this team. You want them to do that. It's certainly been a while, and so that would be very, very exciting. But you're still talking about a really talented Dodgers team that just has a way of playing good baseball down the stretch, which we saw last year. I mean, last year we were talking about the rotation being dinged up, and the bullpen wasn't very good, and then we saw what we saw come October. They've still got plenty of star power. They've got the pedigree and all that, and so I think the excitement of winning the division would be at a much higher level than the disappointment of not doing so, because realistically speaking, we weren't really thinking that that was an option until they pull off these moves to the deadline. And the fact of the matter is the Dodgers haven't been playing particularly good baseball. They've been losing to teams you wouldn't expect them to lose to. Mookie Betts hasn't been very good. He had a 3-hit night the other night. So part of it is the Dodgers not playing to the level that maybe we expected them to, and it's opened the door on top of what the Padres have done, the way they've been playing and the moves that they've made. But I would just look at it as a positive rather than feeling let down unless it's there for the taking and the Padres just don't play well. But if they play well and they kind of match the Dodgers and somehow fall short, just get in the playoffs. You're probably going to run into them again, and let's see what happens in October.
Yeah, that is an interesting perspective. Like if they were to hand it away, like if they had a 2-game lead with 4 to play and then all of a sudden they didn't win the division, I think that's different than where we are right now. Darnay Tripp is with us from NBC7. Where do you land, Darnay, in the Fernando Tatis Jr. scale of it's been a good year, or it's been an average year, or it's been a down year?
That's a good question. I think when he made the All-Star team, it reminded us of, how good he's been in the field and just the overall production level. And he had a really good couple weeks after that. And you're thinking, okay, I think one of my second half predictions was that Tatis would be like a top 3 MVP finalist. That's not looking like a great prediction.
Good job, Darnay.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Totally Jim Russell the situation.
Wow.
But I mean, you have to look at it. Because again, it's like if we're using the sliding scale at all, that probably means it's been an underwhelming season, right? If we're having to be like, but the stolen bases, but a Gold Glove or Platinum Glove type season, we're probably doing that because he hasn't hit 30 homers yet, and he doesn't have an OPS over 9 or 950 or what have you, and he just hasn't had that look. I mean, Jim, you tweeted, was it been 4 homers since early May or something like that?
Yeah.
It's just not what we expect from the guy. And we see so many at-bats that just end. And I haven't looked at his, hard versus weak contact numbers in a while, but it feels like there's been a lot of weak contacts lately. And so it's been discouraging. We know, though, it's just like the flip of a switch, and all of a sudden you're seeing this like supersonic talent, and hopefully that comes at some point. But going back to these deadline moves, there are a lot of people that said, well, if Tatis isn't right, this team isn't going anywhere. Now, I think you look at it and you say, okay, if you have a Tatis who's like a 120 or 125, OPS plus, WRC plus type guy, probably not going to win you an MVP, but that might be enough with this lineup for this team to really go somewhere.
Of the new players that were acquired by AJ here at the trade deadline, who's the one guy that you see will be the most impactful for this team here in the second half?
Oh, that's a great. Have you guys answered this question, or are you just making me answer it?
I think we did answer it maybe the day of the deadline.
I don't remember.
We don't remember, though. Anything we say here, we don't remember.
I forget everything I said.
Good job, guys. I'm debating between Laureano and Mason Miller. Mm-hmm. I think, we know the importance of the bullpen. And so to have an arm like that, and, it's not like a starter, a guy that you see every 4 or 5 nights. You see him, twice in a 3-game stretch. You can see him pretty regularly in a playoff series. And so I think a guy like that, just based on the talent, but then you think what Laureano's done and the fact that, like, we've already seen there might be limited opportunities for Brian O'Hearn. That's not the case for Ramon Laureano. I mean, he is an everyday type left fielder. Bat's been tremendous. Defensively, he's really good. And he just hustles, runs really hard on the bases. So I'm stuck between those two. I'll go with Laureano, just a chance to impact the game in a number of different ways. And doesn't he seem like the type of guy that could be really annoying for an opposing team, an opposing fan base, just the way he plays hard. Not a huge personality, flashy guy, but just seems to do the right thing. I could see him being really kind of the gem of this deadline. Obviously, long term, you hope it's Mason Miller, but in the near term, I'll go with Ramon Laureano.
Darnay Tripp with us right now, John and Jim. So they're getting Michael King back, and it's been nearly 3 months. I think he last pitched in the middle of May. How much is he a linchpin here in terms of getting them where they want to go?
I mean, potentially huge, and another thing we discussed is for so much of the season, you've had to rely so heavily on kind of like the depth options in the rotation, like Randy Vasquez on down, and shout out to Randy Vasquez. Like, he can be in my rotation. Like I enjoy watching him, and it's been cool seeing him have another really solid year. But the fact that like it's now down to Nestor Cortez, a guy that is like a proven veteran major league arm. And, maybe you need those depth guys, the Waldrons, the JP Sears of the world. But right now you don't necessarily need them in terms of your top 5, unless you're going 6 days or what have you to help out Darvish. To bring in Michael King, and not just an arm, but potentially their best arm. He and Pivetta or Cease, if Cease is like looking like Dylan Cease, Michael King is right in that mix, and a guy with, Cy Young caliber stuff. To bring him back in, I think, is enormous. We've seen what he's done in the postseason. We saw it last year against Atlanta. He's really, really stinking good. And I think what's encouraging about the nature of this particular injury is it's not one that I don't think you necessarily worry about re-injuring, like a tendon or a muscle or that sort of thing. It seems like this freak thing. That's the way he's discussed it. And I think that's given him a lot of optimism that he can make an accelerated return and get back to being who he wants to be, because you're not worried about like a muscle given out or that sort of thing. So getting Michael King back is huge. And it just really feels like the pieces are falling in place for the Padres at a really good time.
I was just a little off on my Dylan Cease prediction of him getting traded.
No, you just said it was 100% and a guarantee.
Yeah, again, I was a little off.
John looks like a genius. John, what'd you say, like 20% or 0%?
No, I said more likely than not he stays. 51-49.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I was an idiot.
This is, again, it's not even the first time.
I don't think you were alone, though. I think a lot of people, I expected it. I was surprised, and there was all the talk about the Astros. I was like, all right, here goes. Something's going to happen.
Right, exactly. It felt like in the last 30 minutes of the deadline last week, like, okay, they're gearing up to trade Dylan Cease. And I was going to go with like, now that they didn't trade Cease, how much confidence do you have in Cease going forward the rest of this year that he can continue to pitch well? I mean, he's pitched fine in the second half. He's had one really bad game, but his other starts in the second half for the Padres, like, they've been pretty good.
Yeah, and it was Friday that he came out and was really, really good in his first start after the deadline. And yeah, it's in there. Like, we know it's in there. And even the start before that, I think it was when he gave up the grand slam, like Mike Schild had just spoken about how, it looks like he has no hitter stuff. And then just there's a one big swing or one big at bat or inning that things kind of get away from him. And if he can eliminate that and kind of hold steady, then you're looking at a guy that's obviously going to be really effective and a huge asset to the rotation. And so it feels a little bit like Blake Snell in the past, where one big inning and it kind of goes sideways, but it's in there and he hits his groove and he's really good for a long stretch. We've been waiting for that for Dylan Cease, but I believe it's in there and hopefully it shows up at some point, because again, like Michael King, that's another one of the things that kind of changes the calculus with this team when you start to consider what they might be capable of the rest of the season.
Darnay, we appreciate you putting up with us and joining us here as regularly as you do.
We were actually we were talking about this earlier. We were very surprised how quickly you responded to us this morning.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to play. I agree. He didn't want to play the cat and mouse 400 text game just to say you were going to come out at 4:30, right? We just cut to the chase.
Let me just tell you how much better my life has been once I muted that conversation.
Oh, we talked about that too. We talked about this. How about this? All three of us have it muted, but here's the other thing. I tried to leave the group chat, and I even Googled it, and the iPhone will not allow a 3-person group chat to have someone depart. It has to be 4 more people in a group chat.
So we were
to
thinking,
leave.
like, hear us out here. We were thinking of adding Annie to the group chat, and then whoever dumps out first, like, you're lucky.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do that, Danny. I'm not gonna do that, Danny.
No, it's great. I don't see any of the alerts, and I look at my phone. There's 35 missed messages, and I say, all right, I'll get to that at some point.
Darnay, appreciate you, man. Thanks for hopping on.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Darnay Tripp, NBC7 and the On Fryer podcast. On the other side, let's give away a pair of tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd coming up August 17th, Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater on campus at SDSU. This is John and Jim. All right, John and Jim. San Diego Sports 760 AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we need your help. Text AM to 52886 now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now and keep AM radio in cars standard message and data rates apply. We'll give away these tickets, by the way, to Australian Pink Floyd in the next 5, 6, 7 minutes. I hadn't considered what Darnay said, which is like, I won't be disappointed if they don't win the division. They're in a good division with a good team. I'll be disappointed if they blow it. which is a different way to look at it. Like right now, they wouldn't, they're not going to blow it, so to speak. You're 2 games back. You didn't blow anything.
Pause.
But if you do put yourself in a position where like you're up a game with 3 to play, who do they close with this year? Who's the last?
Arizona.
So you're up a game with 3 to play.
They close out the season with the 6-game homestand, 3 against Milwaukee.
Ooh.
3 against Arizona.
That's really interesting against Milwaukee. But imagine you put in the work, and now all of a sudden you're 1 up with 3 to play, and you go 1-2 against the Diamondbacks at home, and the Dodgers close 2-1, and you lose out on some tiebreaker. I mean, that's when you would be like, wow, right through your grasp. But we're a long way from there.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point by Darnay that I didn't even think of.
Neither did I.
Because I'm just thinking of like the chase, and if you don't catch them, but if you do catch them, and there's a good chance that they will.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do catch them and they end up having a lead in the division and then they end up losing that lead, then it would be more disappointing, especially with like a week to go. Like, yeah, week to go, you're up by 3 games in the West and you finish your season like 1-5 or something.
Right. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. It's interesting though. You just mentioned the fact that they play the Brewers in the final week of the season, and you're like, well, the Brewers at that point, we don't know, but they might, have locked up a 1 seed, or like, it'll just be interesting at that point to see the Padres against the Brewers, I guess is my point, because those might be 2 of the favorites a month from now or 6 weeks from now.
How far back are the Padres of the Brewers? They're 6 back of the,
is that what it is?
Well, they're 7 back in the loss column.
So it's a lot.
It is a lot. The Brewers are
did you say 70 wins?
They're 70-44.
70-44.
They're 9-1 in the last 10 games. They lead the National League in run differential. They have one of the best home records and one of the best road records in all of baseball. They might actually have the best road record in baseball. They do. They have the best road record in baseball, 34-24. They're 35-24 against teams above 500. How are they doing this?
I don't know. Who brought up the interesting? it actually might have been you. I'm going to credit you.
Like, can you name me 5 Brewers on their team right now?
Right. The thing is, it's one thing. This actually speaks to like playoff basketball. You can win 58 games in a regular season and not be well put together in a best of 7 series.
It's like the Atlanta Hawks a bunch of years ago when they had those 5 all-stars, but no superstar.
Or even
they didn't win.
But I'll give you, I'll go to the Houston Golden State series this past year. Mm-hmm. Where Houston put together a near perfect season by their standards, right? They secured like the 2 seed in the Western Conference, and then they run into this like seasoned tenured team that's been through it and is more built for a best of 7 than 82, and then you're on the wrong side. And I don't know if that's Milwaukee or not, but like to your point, is San Diego, do they have the more well-rounded roster considering all the moves they made at the deadline? Like it feels like what AJ Preller was trying to address was make sure his team is capable of winning in the postseason. And maybe Milwaukee's done the same, but just because you win 99 games in the regular season doesn't mean you're going to have a better chance to necessarily win like a best of 5 series.
When I say Quinn Priester, what do you think of?
I think Brewer.
Correct.
I think Brewer, pitcher or hitter.
If you had to give me one guess, what position does Quinn Priester play for the Brewers?
He plays the position of hitting.
Infielder?
What position? He plays position.
No, give me like the actual position.
I agree.
What actual position?
No, I agree with that.
So Brent is infielder.
I'll go outfield.
Left field, right field, center field?
Very good. You can play him in multiple spots.
Come on, give me a serious answer. What do you got?
Center.
Okay, center field. Brent, where do you think he plays?
Third or second.
Third or second. All right, he's our pitcher. He's 11-2 on the season with a 3.15 ERA.
We're focused on the Padres.
I know, but still, to the point, what we're trying to make is they got a ton of just who's?
Right.
And to their credit as an organization and to Pat Murphy, they are doing a fantastic job right now. It is incredible.
Is it the best record in baseball or the National League?
Best record in baseball.
Overall record is what?
70-44.
Wow.
Look at
Brewers.
those Brewers.
Yeah, but again, are you convinced? Are we convinced they're going to be in the World Series? No one's convinced the Brewers are going to be in the World Series.
They're going to be without Jackson Churiel for like 2 weeks too.
And they'll be fine.
They've dealt with injuries. You're right. They have absolutely dealt with injuries. Yeah, we'll see. I don't even know where we were, but yeah,
you know
we'll
who's
see.
and one of the pickups that they made this year, Andrew Vaughn.
Yeah,
You know who Andrew Vaughn is?
it's a good pickup.
What position does he play? I like this game. Come on, give me
Andrew Vaughn. Well, they were looking to add. They were looking to add to that bullpen.
Bullpen arm. Brent, what do you got?
Catcher.
Catcher. He's a first baseman.
He can play catcher.
He since he got acquired by the White Sox in 22 games.
White Sox.
Yeah, the White Sox. Listen to these numbers.
He's on the White Sox or the Brewers?
I said acquired from the White Sox.
From okay.
The numbers he's put up for the Brewers since being acquired from the White Sox are crazy. Andrew Vaughn in 22 games with the Brewers is hitting 377 with a 1,145 OPS, a 701 slug. He's got 7 homers, 28 RBIs, and 4 doubles in 22 games.
Ow.
I know.
It's amazing. Sometimes you just have one of those teams, one of those years. And we'll see if it's that type of team or you're here.
We're not even close on the position.
With center fielder Priester and reliever Vaughn,
yeah,
the Brewers are on their way. Have the Brewers ever played in the World Series?
No.
Yes.
Wait, yes.
Yeah, one time. One time ever.
That's right. Yeah.
81 or 83?
That predates me. I don't know anything after.
They lost the Cardinals.
Weren't they in the American League? Yeah.
Yeah.
They were in the World Series in the American League. It's
Says
been a
the
while.
Harvey Wallbanger team.
It's been a while. Yeah. All right. Call right now. This is a ridiculous segment. Call right now if you want 2 free tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd August 17th at the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater. Caller 3, you have 2 free tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd August 17th coming up. Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Call right now if you want them. 877-767-4760. We're getting you ready for Padres and Red Sox, the opener of a 3-game series. On the other side, plus if you missed our conversation with Aztecs defensive coordinator Rob Orich, you'll hear that coming up at 5:30. Hour 4 of John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
All right, this update is brought to you by OfferUp. Download the app today. We'll start with news in the NFL. Not good news for Rashawn Slater, as after he just signed his 4-year, $114 million contract extension last month with the Chargers, suffered a season-ending ruptured patella tendon at practice on Wednesday. He'll miss the 2025 season. Padres have an off day today before they start a 3-game series with the Boston Red Sox tomorrow night. Good news for the Padres. On Saturday, Michael King will make his return from the IL. Sure, a box can bring you a couch, but it won't make sure it fits in your space. Maria, though, who sold you her couch on OfferUp, helped you measure and helped you move it. Download OfferUp and discover life outside the box.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the final hour of John and Jim. Hard to believe. Only one more hour. We're getting you ready for Padres and Red Sox. Tomorrow on the show, Will Fleming, radio voice of the Red Sox. Of course, his brother's called games for a long time with the Giants. Will Fleming, not Dave Fleming, will join us tomorrow. We'll get you ready for Red Sox and Padres. Also tomorrow on the show, Kevin Acee will join us. Of course, our Padres insider. We will have a lot. I don't want to get into it as of yet because it's still being finalized. We will have a number of Padre alumni players with us next week. So stay tuned for that. We'll have a lot of players with us next week talking about this second half for the Padres that is now underway.
I am dubbing next week Padres Legends Week here on John and Jim.
Yeah, I like that. I don't know. Can we use that? Like, I would honestly run promos for it, but I would call it San Diego Baseball Legends.
Well, for promos, it doesn't matter because we're not
look at you
giving away anything.
It's not sponsored.
It's not sponsored.
Look at you. You're playing chess. I'm playing checkers.
Yeah. If we were giving away a prize, can't use the name Padres. If we're like promoting guests, we can say the word Padres. It's okay.
Okay. I didn't realize that. Can we say Padres on the radio when we do our shows?
I'm sure that we have been sent a million cease and desist, and I don't care.
I'm pretty sure you can say the word Padres since we're talking about
the
Padres each and every second.
Next week is Padres Legends Week.
Padres Legends. So, be here next week. We'll get you ready for it's a huge week, by the way. I mean, it's a big weekend against the Red Sox. Then you look at next week, and it's the Giants and the Dodgers. So, just a great time. It really is to be a baseball fan in San Diego. That's where we started the show. I mean, the Padres on the heels of the trade deadline and playing some of their best baseball of the year. Yeah, they started 14-3, and then we didn't see that team for 3 months. And now we're seeing that team that we saw to begin the year, but we're seeing a new iteration, a new version. And that was on display the last 2 days. The way in which they won in Arizona with their newly acquired reliever in Mason Miller and with their newly acquired bats in Ramon Laureano and Ryan O'Hearn and their catcher, Freddie Fermin. We saw the newcomers on display. We're watching the Padres play as well as they've played since the first 2 weeks of the season. And we're hoping, Jim, it continues moving forward as well.
Yeah, I think right now, the Padres are in the middle of a second half Schulte run, which seemingly happens every single year with a Mike Schulte managed team. We'll see how long this lasts. But as we talked about, just one more run. And then we said this like a month and a half ago. Like if they just have like one more run, it doesn't have to be like for 2 months. It could be a 14-5 stretch, which is incredible baseball. If they just did that one more time, and that's probably a little too much to ask, but we're seeing it. They're 9-2 in their last 11. They could easily go 14-5 here in a 19-game stretch or 15-5 in a 20-game stretch. Like they're close to doing that. All they would need to do is go 6-3 over the next 9 games, and boom, there you go.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
15-5. So they are positioning themselves very well here, leading up to some of the most important series of their season. And you couldn't ask for anything more if you're a Padres fan.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like all of a sudden you look up and you're like, everything that you always wanted is right in front of you. And now can you just secure it? You know, it's a little bit like 2024. It's like everything you wanted was right there for the taking. You wanted to be at home up 2-1. You wanted to close 43-19. You wanted to be, healthy enough. Now they lost Joe Musgrove, but like everything that you wanted Michael King back. He's back. You wanted AJ to upgrade the roster. He upgraded the roster. You wanted them to play better. They're playing better. You wanted the Dodgers to fall off. They have. Like, what else could you ask for right now if you're a Padres fan? I mean, everything that you've asked for has come to fruition. And now it is, it's funny. Earlier in the year, I'm like, look, I just want to fast forward. I want to see this team in the postseason. But now I don't. Now I actually want to see them potentially overtake teams in front of them. I want to see how they stack up against teams like the Dodgers, even the Giants. Later, I want to see how they stack up against teams like Milwaukee that we touched on. But yeah, I don't want to fast forward it. I want to see if they can overtake some of these teams in their quest to get back to the postseason.
Yeah, it's something that you want to try to enjoy as much as like last night's game. That was fun. I mean, it wasn't fun leading up to the ninth inning, but the ninth inning was fun. Kind of the same thing on Tuesday night. That game was fun. Kind of got wonky there and crazy, but the end result made everything fun about it. And so enjoying the ride that the Padres are going to take all of you fans on is something that I know everyone wants to fast forward to the postseason. Everyone wants to fast forward to the division round, back to the same moment that they were last year, up 2-1 over the Dodgers, and they want to overcome that and go further this year. But I mean, there's still 2 months to play.
Yeah, right.
A lot of really fun times could be ahead of this team potentially.
I know. It's like I've made this point before with baseball. I mean, the more that it plays out with the expanded playoff, the more it feels like college basketball to me. In college basketball, the only thing that matters is the NCAA tournament, right? Like Kentucky can go 30-2, but if they lose in the first round to Oakland, which they did a couple of years ago, that's all anyone's going to talk about. Baseball has a little bit of that feeling to me, maybe not to the same extent, but does any Padre fan care if they win 99 games, but then lose in the divisional series? Or on the other hand, what if they only win 89 games, but make it to a World Series? So like most professional sports or collegiate sports, it's predicated on what you do in the postseason. And I feel good and confident saying I think they'll be in the postseason. Mike Farron actually today, we're not going to play this out, but did you happen to hear that or see it on your timeline? Mike Farron was like, the difference between where the Padres are and some of these other teams is like, the difference between sustained success and success is getting there over and over again. And he was crediting Preller for getting his team there over and over again. Now, it's not every year, but if they get there this year, it's a fourth time in 6 years. So I guess the point is like, they've never done that, Jim, in the history of the franchise. And it doesn't mean that they've won a World Series, but we do say the more you get in, the more chances you have to win. And if they get in again, it's another opportunity to win in the postseason.
Yeah, to give yourself as many cracks at the apple or whatever the saying is. What's the saying?
Bites at the apple?
Bites at the apple, not cracks at the apple. Many bites at the apple as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're doing now. It can't be understated. If this team makes the postseason, which they are firmly sitting in a good spot to do, they'll have done something as a franchise that they haven't done since 05-06.
Back-to-back years in the postseason.
Yeah, and we'll obviously everyone will be talking about that closer it gets to them making another appearance in the postseason. But that's kind of crazy.
It is. They've never been there 3 or 4 years. Is that correct? No. And that would also be accomplished. They've never been there 4 and 6 years.
If it wasn't for Matt Holliday not touching home plate.
Yeah, then that changes.
There changes things. Yep. But of course, the umpire called him safe, never touched home plate. We all know the rest of that story.
And also it's different because the truth is it's easier to make the playoffs today than when the Padres came into the sport 50 years ago. Like you had like a division winner.
Yeah.
And then like you could win 100 games. There's that famous year between the Braves and the Giants. They both win 100 games. One of them's out.
93
so like,
or 94, sorry.
Yeah.
No,
like
93.
Think about that. And now it's like, are you kidding? If you're pacing for 100 wins, you kick your feet up in September. I mean, sure, maybe you want the seeding, but you're in the postseason. We had a year play out recently. Dodgers and Giants both won 106 plus games, and we're both in the postseason. So the point is, it's changed. It's easier to make the playoffs today than it was 35 years ago, but it doesn't take away from, I think, what they've accomplished.
Is it weird of me? And this is probably way too premature because there's still all of August and September left, but is it weird of me to say I'd rather have the Padres not up by 15 games in the division and be where they're at, where every game matters and every game is a playoff game feel? Because I'd rather have them in playoff mode heading to the postseason than just kind of like coasting it into the postseason.
I don't think that's weird. I think you've probably heard Dodger fans over the years say, you know what? Some of those years we were cruising in September probably wasn't best for our
last year they didn't cruise and they won a World Series.
And that's one of the rare years that they were chased down over 162. They've had years, and I'd have to look. They've had years where they've won a division by 10 plus games, obviously, in the last 10 years. So, no, I would tend to agree with that like it makes you better. I don't know if it's true or not, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it would take off all the stress from all Padres fans out there, right? For August and September leading up to a postseason run. But then it would create this expectation of, all right, for the last month and a half, this team was in cruise mode and there was not a lot of, stress going into these games. And if they lose, it's going to feel even worse.
Well, I mean, since you went down the path, and it's not to go down the path, I mean, my one thing has always been if you do in the division and you get a week off, and we're getting way ahead, is it necessarily a good thing when you're playing good baseball to take time off? That's like to your point. If you have a 15-game lead, you don't want to lose the level of focus that is required to win in the postseason. And believe me, there's a level of focus required to win in the postseason. So again, Red Sox will be here. You mentioned earlier, is it measuring stick? Maybe it is. They're in the American League. They're red hot. They are among the hottest teams in baseball. I think it's going to be a great series. I think the Padres line up their pitching right here. We're seeing Nick Pivetta. We're going to see Michael King. We're going to see
Jarren Duran too.
And we're going to see Jarren Duran, who, again, AJ was chasing for the last couple of months. So we got a great series this weekend, and this begins a great stretch of baseball where you're seeing big-time games throughout the month of August involving the San Diego Padres. I'm on board for that.
Could not ask for anything more than meaningful baseball, right?
Yes. I mean, like extremely meaningful, and not just meaningful. You feel like you have a good chance. Like if you're a Padres fan, I feel like it not only is it meaningful, you feel like you can make up ground.
Because without meaningful baseball in this town, we're talking about training camp, which nobody wants.
Right, which we did earlier, and we don't want to do that again. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and the difference between here and Milwaukee is that, the Brewers can be 70-44, but believe me, I think Jordan Love is being discussed as widely on the radio as Quinn Priester.
They know where their bread's buttered.
That would be my guess.
And it's with the Packers.
All right, much more on this on the other side. Plus, coming up at 5:30, if you missed it earlier, we sat down with Aztecs' new defensive coordinator, Rob Orich. Their Fan Fest is a week from tonight at Snapdragon. Their opener, the Aztecs opener against Stony Brook, is 3 weeks from tonight at Snapdragon Stadium. Plus, Jim's back page is ahead. Stay with us. It's Sean and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, the iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by Mariah Carey, Maroon 5, and more. September 19th and 20th, T-Mobile in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Buy tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out while the world is listening on iHeart. You could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip for 2 plus $1,000 spending money. Next chance, Jim, to text and win happens at 9 a.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. Get all the info at sportssd.com/festival.
Okay.
All right. You want to do that?
Sure.
Go to the festival. We can go together. Fun. How about Big Rich, TD, and Fletch?
Oh, yeah,
Shout
dude.
out Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. They introduced Creed. Did we give away Creed tickets by chance?
We did.
Okay, so we gave away tickets for this concert
Can
recently.
you take me higher?
It was good.
I've been practicing.
So we gave away those tickets, and then they asked us, of course, hey, John and Jim, do you want to introduce Creed? We're like, you know what?
We can't.
We can't. We shouldn't. We're doing everything.
I have to clean my shoes that night.
Right.
I'm
So you
sorry.
were cleaning shoes,
Yeah.
and
You're looking
I
at Pokemon card. Are you looking at cards?
correct.
Yeah.
But Big Rich, TD, and Fletch yesterday, like, introduced Creed onto the stage at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater in front of 20,000 people.
That's kind of big.
Yeah, like, what's the equivalent? I guess introducing Creed in front of 20,000 people. Like, we haven't done anything like that.
We wouldn't be like, hey, let's go introduce the Padres.
Padres, here they come.
And we would never be able to throw a first pitch.
Why not?
Why do you think?
Rich did. Rich threw out a first pitch in the last 8 years.
He did have
Glistening thighs.
Yeah.
He did have some. I think he knew Peter Seiler pretty well,
Okay.
so that helps.
Yeah. So you're saying we're out because
We're
why?
out.
Why?
We're out.
Shouldn't we like be throwing every first pitch?
Why don't you think we're going to throw a first pitch, Sean?
I can't. Well, I mean, there's probably some factors at play, but
There's a multitude.
there's a
Multitude.
multitude of factors at play. I'm just trying to think, what is the most awkward thing or outside of your comfort zone thing you have had to do, maybe in radio? Because, for Rich is great on the big stage. He's amazing in that setting. He's so good with people. Rich Orenberger, I'm talking about, right?
I know who you're talking about.
And I've seen, for our listeners,
Oh.
and I think Travis is really good there. And I think Fletch, truthfully, is very good. He did some stuff with an Aztecs spring game. He was very good in that setting. That's not necessarily my like cup of tea, like the all eyes on me type cup of tea. That's why I like radio. Nobody looks at us.
Mhm.
So is there anything where you are like completely outside of your comfort zone other than like speaking?
Yeah, for sure.
So give me an example of something where you've not even recently, like in the last decade, like working in radio, where you were like completely a fish out of water.
Opening day 2023, outside by myself.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
At a just random table, broadcasting on StreamYard through my like ear pods because we lost internet connection.
It was actually opening day 2024.
2024.
Yeah,
Excuse
the
me. yeah.
Aztecs were in the Sweet 16 in Boston.
You were gone. I was alone. I was like literally on the street by myself. And as the game ended, everybody's just walking by me. And that's the most uncomfortable I have ever felt and the most fish out of water I've ever felt. in
I
my
think you probably
entire
texted me that
career.
day saying I'm quitting.
I think I did. It was that bad.
Is there anything that comes to mind for me
I don't
that
know.
I've had to do that?
I know you were nervous about emceeing the celebration event for the Aztecs
that was a big
basketball
one.
team after
But that,
the
that's always yeah.
National championship.
That's always like, that's nerve wracking sometimes, like to do public speaking, but it always works out. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like being nervous for something, okay, that always works out. But
I've messed up a lot of times behind the board, but that's like behind the scenes
so did
stuff.
I, back in the day.
It's not like front and center.
Yeah. There's no worse feeling though than when you find out 2 minutes later or 4 minutes later, oh, by the way, your mics were on the entire break, or your
I've had
mic
that.
was on YouTube, or you're hot. It's a hot mic.
Yeah.
That is honestly, in my whole career, minor league baseball, I used to work in the minors, 15 years.
Wow.
There is no worse feeling than thinking you said something that you shouldn't have said over the air.
Right, because all we do is talk crap about everybody else in this town when we're off the air.
Correct. So to do it then for other people to actually hear what we're saying.
Right. We curse everybody out in this town off the air.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
one's safe.
But we're off the air, so it's
Right,
like
it's
it doesn't
fine.
count.
Yeah.
But then when you actually, when other people hear, like, oh, we didn't say no.
No,
You must have
No,
missed.
you didn't hear
was
that.
AI generated.
Yeah, sorry. We just have to stop the stream and delete that footage. It's fine.
I have made Jim delete things over the years. I have. I don't.
I
even
was like,
know.
it's fine, and then we listened back to it, and I was like, it's not fine.
It's not fine.
You know what? I don't really care.
I know you don't, but I do. I care about everything.
I know.
All right. If you miss Rob Orich, the San Diego State new defensive coordinator, I mentioned the fact that the Aztecs will have a fan fest, a football scrimmage coming up a week from tonight. We're going to broadcast live from that event out at Snapdragon Stadium. So hopefully we'll see you a week from tonight. And then 3 weeks from tonight, it gets real for San Diego State. They're going to take on Stony Brook in their opener. So if you missed our conversation with Rob Orich, you're going to hear that on the other side. Plus, we do have Jim's back page coming up. Also mentioned this earlier. Be with us tomorrow. Will Fleming, radio voice of the Red Sox, will join the show. Kevin Acey, our Padres insider, will join the show next week. We've got all kinds of Padres alumni. Stay tuned for some news on that are going to join the show as well. So looking forward to talking Padres baseball.
It's going to be a big week
It's
next
gonna be a
week.
Huge week. Absolutely. So
we're going to be out at FanFest on Thursday next week.
Yeah, we actually have a different showtime.
At Snapdragon Stadium. Yeah, different showtime next week, 3 to 7.
Yep.
Same 4 hours, but 3 to 7
a.m.
Just found that out.
It's an overnight.
No
3 to 7 p.m.
chance. And we'll be joined by Padres alumni
all week long.
Every single day, all week long. Some big names. We won't tell you who it is now, but some huge. Don't say that.
All right. On the other side, we're going to hear from Rob Orich, San Diego State's defensive coordinator. 2 weeks into fall camp, FanFest coming. The opener is coming. Rob Orich, San Diego State's defensive coordinator, on the other side. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, so if you're maxed out on credit cards or struggling with high interest debt, you could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey guys, it is Schaefer. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto really is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved. They did it in under 24 hours. Paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. Just a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity, it's yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Call to start the conversation, 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. 619-207-4336. Get debt relief now at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
All right, this update's brought to you by Allstate. Padres, they have an off day today. They start a 3-game series against the Boston Red Sox tomorrow night at Petco Park. Other good news for the Padres, they are going to be getting back Michael King as he will start on Saturday night for the Pods. And news in the NFL today, not good news for Rashawn Slater after signing his 4-year, $114 million contract extension. He suffered a season-ending ruptured patella tendon at practice on Wednesday. Of course, he's going to miss the 2025 NFL season. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
All right, Jim's Back Page, iconic radio segment, returning in 15 minutes.
Give me the Marconi Award for that. Is that what it's called?
It is, right?
Yeah.
Jim with his
what?
Your knowledge base is vastly improved.
That is the guy who invented the radio. Good job.
Unbelievable. If you missed our conversation earlier, Rob Orich, San Diego State's new defensive coordinator, second year on Sean Lewis's staff. We had him on to talk about the start of fall camp, upcoming Fan Fest. Aztecs will start their season again in 3 weeks, but we started the conversation asking how the defenses looked through the first 2 weeks of camp.
First two weeks, we're kind of hitting the ground running. Spring was an exceptional 15 practice for our group. Made a lot of hay there. And then I actually thought our leadership in the summer through all the player-led practices kind of primed the pump a little bit for us to start on level 3 or level 4 instead of back at the beginning. And what I've been excited about is that there's a hunger with this group. Like there's no question about their desire to be a great team. We got to get them to execute and play winning style of football. And we've seen that from the first couple practices so far.
And we know with the way that college football is, NIL, transfer portal, all of that, to retain as many players as you guys did, especially on defense, is such a huge thing for any college football team in the country. But for you guys, starting out new last year, first year here on the Mesa, getting those players that contributed last year, I'm sure that played a huge role into what you said, as you guys hit the ground running this offseason into training camp.
Yeah, good players make the world go round.
Yeah.
Every coach will tell you that. And, we have, you look at our 2 deep coming back, you can make an argument that, we return 14, 15 of our top 16 players from last year. And it's a fortunate position to step into play calling wise because their mental load can handle a little diversity, can handle some layers to it. And so for us, when Trey White, Chris Johnson, Tano, Eric Butler, Bryce Phillips, all these returning playmakers for us last year decided to stay home and stay in that Aztec red. We knew we have a real good shot to be a special defense this year. And those guys are hungry, man. They got something to prove. I think we all look back at the last year, and that wasn't up to anybody's expectation from anyone's performance. And they feel real inspired to return football to the Mesa where it should be.
Rob Orich is with us right now. He's San Diego State's defensive coordinator. Aztecs have Fan Fest a week from tonight. Free tickets at goaztecs.com. The Aztecs opener is 3 weeks from tonight against Stony Brook. There's so much attention on Trey White. What does success look like for White this year? Because with that attention, you don't necessarily get all the numbers. I mean, we saw that in the second half of the year, because he's facing double teams constantly. So what does a successful year look like for Trey White for you and your defense?
Yeah, we've talked to Trey a little bit about this, and we got a bunch of coaches on our staff who have been pretty good players at the college level. And so I think we've been in those roles before, being preseason player of the years and stuff like that, where, it's not a burden at all. You should take it as a compliment. But Trey's focus is, hey, I'm going to go execute my job on this snap. And if doing my job results in production or a TFL or a sack, then great. That's the way it should go. But if my job involves getting the double team to me and setting up the pass rush game on the other side, great. That's my job. But one thing that we have to do as coaches is we have to find ways to move them around the field. And so if he sits there at the boundary end position like he did last year, we're going to get a lot of slide to the boundary, and Trey's not going to have double-digit sacks. But it's our job to find ways to use our tools the best we can. And so if I were you guys, I'd be expecting to see Trey White all over the field, man.
You mentioned the opposite side of Trey on the edge. Right now, for you, who is that leader in the clubhouse to be on the opposite side of Trey White on the line start the season?
Yeah, I think it's our deepest room. I think you can make an argument that the edge room is right there with our safety rooms for just the number of good players. And so in that edge room, the guy coming back who played really quality ball for us last year is Brady Masser. Steady, stops the run, extremely smart, a very good pass rusher, but not, he's not the same type of athlete that Trey is. He just has a different style of game. And the two guys that have kind of shown out pass rush wise is a transfer kid from FIU named August Salvati, who's got 2 years left, who has a ton of horsepower, can really run off the ball, one of those Joey Bosa type defensive ends. That's who he reminds me of. That's a hell of a compliment to play that kid. And the other player who has some elite pass rush ability is Ryan Henderson. And you saw it in flashes last year. You got a taste of it, but it wasn't as consistent as what Trey was giving us. And so if I expected what you're seeing from the Aztec, we're going to be in a bunch of packages where we have 4 DNs on the field on third down. And it'll be a combination of Trey and August, Ryan and Miles King, and then Jared Beatty, who's a linebacker right now that has a pretty dynamic tool set as a rusher. So for us, we feel like this is the deepest we've been here in the terms of pass rushers. So I think we have someone to put on the other side and allow Trey to go win some one-on-ones.
Rob Orich with us right now, San Diego State's defensive coordinator. Correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, but you were a former All-American linebacker, right? Minnesota Duluth.
I was.
You're coaching linebackers, right? As well. Yep. So tell us about that room. In a 4-2-5, again, it's somewhat unique where you're not going to have, a handful of linebackers on the field at the same time, but you got some really special players. I think it probably starts with Tano Latuli. So what's the experience like for you coaching this group and seeing a player like Tano back here on the Mesa for another year?
Yeah, the linebacker group is really deep. There's 6 guys right now we would feel comfortable putting in the game. But the 2 guys that spearhead it are Tano Latuli and Owen Chambliss. And Owen has some NFL tools. A little bit beat up last year. Owen is a guy that I think you're going to hear a lot from this year. I think when it comes to processing football, he does it at an elite level. Reminds me of a kid named Jack Cochran who played for me. That's with the Chiefs now. I'm really proud of where he's at and where he's physically got his body to. He looks like an NFL guy. I think he's going to have a big year. Tano's the emotional heartbeat of this team. I think Chris and Trey are our leaders, and Tano's in that same fold. But the emotional steadiness comes from Tano, his passion for the game. And Tano is as violent as they come, has tremendous acceleration. We all looked at his tape last year and talking to him. He knows he can play cleaner, with regards to run fits and the precision in our drops. He has a lot of room to get better. And that's one thing I really appreciate about working with Tano is he's not satisfied being like a preseason high level player. It doesn't mean anything. His goals are to be a great player, and it's our job and my job to push him to that. And I've been really pleased with how he's responded.
What have you seen going up against Jaden Denigel and Bert Emanuel Jr. on the other side? Every day you're trying to stop, this offense in practice. What have you seen from those 2 new quarterbacks here specifically in training camp?
I love them. Dude, they're tough to defend. They're a little bit different in the way they get after you. What I like about JD or Jaden, he's a high-level football thinker. He comes up and talks after practice about the little cat and mouse game with some of our blitz simulations we've been giving him. And I've had a lot of respect for how he's eager to grow his knowledge of football. He made about 4 or 5 throws the other day that I thought were, wow, you can't defend that. And today we were in the scrimmage and we had reps at the scrimmage today, and they blew the play dead because we touched them in the pocket. We're keeping the quarterback safe, but I don't know if we're getting him down. And that's the aspect of the game that I'm excited about to see from him. I think he can just create stuff with his athleticism and his understanding of timing in the pocket, he's ready to get out. And with regards to Burt, man, Burt's one of the most athletic kids on this team. He's terrifying. 10'6" kid coming out of high school. He's bigger than Owen Chambliss, who I think looks like an NFL linebacker. Burt looks like an NFL DN. And so that kid at that size, getting downhill, I think Coach Schmidt, Coach Lou, and Coach Johnson, our OC, have done a great job of finding things he does extremely well. And so I've been really impressed with the increased level of athleticism in that room.
Rob, we appreciate you taking time for us. I know Aztec fans are excited for the season, and next Thursday night, Fan Fest, again, free tickets at goaztecs.com, a scrimmage out at Snapdragon Stadium. So we appreciate you taking time for us. Continue to be well, and we'll catch up with you next week out at Snapdragon.
Awesome. All the best, guys. Talk to you.
All right, Rob Orich, and again, you'll hear the Aztecs opener 3 weeks from tonight, San Diego State and Stony
3
Brook.
weeks.
3 weeks, 21 days.
Are you ready?
I will be.
How long does it take you to prep?
A lot. I spent a lot of time. I got the things I need. I go out to practice. I read. I write. I consume. I prepare.
So you do everything that I don't do.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you ever tried doing those things? Those are the things I do.
What's it like to read and write?
The thing is, like, play-by-play is so different than sports talk. Like
100%.
so different.
I would never ever be good at play-by-play.
Well, no, because you can't just like show up and call the game.
Well, I can't pronounce a lot of like hard names out there.
But what do you mean? I mean, you can just go and ask, like, how do you say?
No. Here's the thing. No.
You just can't say it.
I just can't say it. I would mispronounce everybody's name. I just can't. Like, there's some names I just can't pronounce right.
Imagine you calling like a Hawaii football game.
It would not happen. I'd be like the left tackle.
Names.
The defensive end, the quarterback,
right,
the running back. I would not. It would be impossible for me to say those names.
The thing is, like, play-by-play is all based on like preparation. Where some people in sports talk do a lot of prep, and then there's the gym theory, which is like, you turn the mic on and go. But
I prepare.
I mean, we prepare by consuming.
Yeah, that's
we watch.
That's
we
my
listen.
preparation is consuming. Yeah. I do read Kevin's articles. I do read Dennis. I do read AJ. I read a lot of things. I just don't like sit there and and meticulously like put everything out on a piece of paper ready to go for the show. Because once the mic turns on, I'm not staring at my computer reading off all these stuff that I've. The stats.
Wait, you don't? You don't?
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the listener.
Right.
You gotta just go, man. Just go.
All right, Jim's back page. Is it going to be off the cuff or is it going to be meticulously written out?
Oh, this is off the cuff.
It's next on John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, final time, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Tomorrow, Kevin AC on the show. We're back, of course, at 2 p.m. Will Fleming, Red Sox radio voice, on the show as well. Padres and Red Sox begin a weekend series tomorrow night at Petco Park at 6:40. So be with us tomorrow beginning at 2 p.m. And right now it is time for this.
Olipop. You were drinking this today.
I had one earlier today. Would be a maybe low calorie soda or a lower sugar soda alternative.
Yeah, it only has 4 grams of sugar, 35 calories, and 6 grams of fiber.
Yeah, they're good. I've been drinking them for a while.
Well, if you like SpongeBob SquarePants, Olipop is releasing a new SpongeBob theme flavor.
Is it pineapple? Does it taste like pineapple?
Lives in a pineapple under the sea. Yes.
It's a pineapple cola?
Pineapple Paradise is the new flavor. Olipop just dropped a limited edition soda flavor, Pineapple Paradise, inspired by SpongeBob SquarePants and his iconic pineapple home. Each 12-ounce can is packed with gut-friendly goodness. As I just mentioned, only 4 grams of sugar, 35 calories, 6 grams of fiber. It's also gluten-free, vegan, keto, paleo, and non-GMO friendly. Perfect for health-conscious fans. John Schaefer.
Like me. Has anyone ever asked this question? This might be maybe not for right now. Has anyone ever asked why he lives in a pineapple?
Under the sea?
Under the sea part makes some sense. But why in a pineapple?
Why not?
I almost want to chat GPT. Like, maybe it's for another day. Why does SpongeBob live in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob lives in a pineapple because it was inspired by Polynesian culture, where pineapples and flowery imagery are common.
Oh,
okay. Thank you. All right.
Okay. It says that's not all, though. Olipop turned the launch into an interactive experience from August 8th to the 17th. You can find special cans of this new Olipop SpongeBob flavored Pineapple Paradise soda in select stores in the United States. There's 5 collectible cans in stores, and starting on September 2nd, you can have redeem codes to get these cans in stores.
Okay, interesting. So you can pick those up in America.
Yes, you can. It's not like something that you're going to get in Australia.
Okay,
or something along those lines. Krispy Kreme is bringing back their fan favorite pumpkin spice donut, John. Krispy Kreme is kicking off fall early. Everyone's kicking off fall early.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, screw it. We're not even in fall, but we want pumpkin spice everywhere. It's August.
Right.
The return of its beloved pumpkin spice original glazed donut is available for just 1 week from August 11th to August 17th. The limited time favorite will be offered in stores, drive-thrus, and through the Krispy Kreme app and website for pickup only. But that's not all, John.
Mm-hmm.
Krispy Kreme is also launching 3 more seasonal treats starting August 11th. The original glazed pumpkin spice cake donut, a pumpkin spice latte. Everyone has pumpkin spice latte.
Mm-hmm.
And pumpkin spice coffee. These items will remain on the menu throughout the fall season.
That sounds good, but only for 1 week.
Well, it gives you incentive to go and get it.
That's a good point. Like the urgency factor?
Yeah, if you
like
give someone
you don't do it now,
if you give someone a timetable to do something, like you got 10 minutes to do this.
Or you have 10 years. They're not going to act on 10 years.
Yeah.
Call now. Be one of the first 400 to call, and you get a free street sweeper with your.
I would call
for a street sweeper.
Maybe not a street sweeper. It's not. The Midwest or.
Well, nobody has a street sweeper.
No one has a street sweeper. I get it, but no one has to deal with like snow here.
But you know the whole like those infomercials back in the day. Act now, we'll throw in a second food dehydrator.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we might be all dead in the fall anyway because scientists are observing this Manhattan-sized interstellar object that they still believe is of alien origin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A Harvard physicist has asserted that the new images of the Manhattan-sized interstellar object rocketing through our inner solar system is not a comet. The reason why he claims it's not a comet, because a comet or an asteroid would have a tail, like a I guess a tail on it, depicting it going through space, right?
Okay.
They said this I guess glowing whatever does not have a tail. Instead, the tail is at the front of this object.
And where is it? Like, is it heading towards here, or is it just like a million miles away?
It's heading into our solar system. The existence of a glow of this object is puzzling because there's also no evidence of gas molecules with this object. They're calling it.
I'm listening.
They're calling it Atlas. 31 Atlas is the name of this.
Atlas?
31 Atlas. They say that it will come through our solar system. It will pass by Mars and it will pass by the sun. And scientists believe that this will be the time that this quote unquote alien object will observe us for potential invasion.
And when's it passing?
November.
I'm not overly worried.
They say that they will have a better assessment of the object and the probability of the path of this object within a month or two. And it will be better to observe, easier to observe as it approaches the sun.
Again, I mean, there's so many things to worry about. Are you really going to worry about that? I'm not. Because I'm looking at articles right now. I'm not concerned.
A scientist in a post on X last week is saying that they are urging NASA to extend the Juno mission to study the interstellar object 31 Atlas.
It's the largest interstellar object ever seen. They should put that in the game notes. Like if there's an interstellar game, largest interstellar object ever seen, 7 miles wide.
Yeah. And they say it's like on a direct path to our solar system.
To our solar system, but that doesn't mean to Earth, right?
Well, if it's an alien object, they can like do a course correction and they can come towards Earth.
But what are they going to do? What do they want to do? What do they want? Tell me what they want.
They want to watch the Padres in the postseason.
Well, they're going to be late if it's November. Can make it rain for a month.
I mean, it's a little scary.
Is it scary?
It's not to you.
I can't get worked up with it because think about it. The Earth has been around for how long?
Long time.
And how often do these things hit?
Well, it's the first interstellar object that you just said that they can't really describe.
I know.
Doesn't have a tail on it like a comet. Doesn't have any molecules or evidence of gas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's large. And it's heading to our solar system.
It's probably like a Preller trade-off or something.
It's the Jaron Duran deal in the offseason.
It's on a 7-mile asteroid. It's heading right for San Diego to have a trade offer. All right. If you missed anything today, sportssd.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Spotify. I'm sorry if you've been listening to the show over the last 10 minutes.
Hey, if this thing happens to come and kill us in November, don't tell you I didn't tell you so.
Good point. All right. Back tomorrow, 2 p.m. This is San Diego Sports 760. Bye-bye.